You sent me to prison. Monica Hayes froze her hand still on the restaurant door. The voice came from behind her, low, rough, unmistakable. She turned slowly, her heart hammering against her ribs. A massive man stood there, leather vest stretched across his chest arms, covered in faded tattoos and scars that told stories she'd once decided in a courtroom. His eyes locked onto hers, and in that moment, every verdict she'd ever delivered came rushing back. Before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button and stick with me until the very end. Drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. I love seeing how far these stories travel. Now let's get into it. Monica's breath caught in her throat. She knew that face. God help her, she knew it. Marcus Webb, she whispered. Judge Hayes. He didn't smile, didn't move, just stood there like a mountain that had suddenly appeared in her path. The restaurant hostess, that smug little thing who'd turned Monica away 5 minutes ago, was now staring with wide eyes. The classical music playing overhead suddenly felt too loud, the laughter from the dining room too bright, too wrong. I didn't think you'd remember me, Marcus said. I remember every case. Monica's voice came out steadier than she felt. Her fingers tightened around her clutch. Aggravated assault. I gave you 8 years. 7 with good behavior. Marcus tilted his head slightly. Got out 3 years ago. Monica's mind raced. She was alone. It was New Year's Eve. The street outside was packed with drunk revelers. Her driver had already left. She'd sent him away, too proud to admit she'd been rejected at the door of the city's most exclusive restaurant. Too proud to call her daughter and hear that distant politeness in Zoe's voice when she realized her mother had nowhere to be on the biggest night of the year. I'm not afraid of you, Monica said, though her pulse said otherwise. Marcus's expression shifted, something that might have been amusement or maybe sadness. Good, you shouldn't be. I just wanted to say hello. Hello? Monica's professional armor snapped back into place. You approached a federal judge outside a restaurant to say hello. I approached a woman who looked like she needed a table. Marcus gestured behind him. We got space. Real space, not whatever game that hostess was playing. Monica followed his gesture and saw them for the first time, really saw them. 6 men, all in leather, all bearing the marks of lives lived hard. And among them, impossibly, a little girl with braided hair coloring on a placemat. You want me to sit with you? Monica couldn't keep the disbelief from her voice. Why not? Marcus shrugged. You hungry, we're hungry, problem solved. The problem, Monica said slowly, is that you're my former defendant. This is wildly inappropriate. So standing in the cold when there's food and company inside. Marcus turned slightly, giving her space to move past him if she wanted. But it's your call, Judge. Always has been. That last part landed like a punch. Monica stood there, clutching her purse, feeling the weight of every decision she'd made in 23 years on the bench. The door behind her led to the street, to her empty apartment, to another night of Chinese takeout and case files. The door ahead led to something she couldn't quite name. Who else is here? She asked. From before, I mean. Marcus's eyes crinkled. Tommy Rodriguez is in the bathroom. You remember him? Monica's stomach dropped. The armed robbery case. 12 years. 10.5 with good behavior. He's doing all right now. Works construction. And you think he wants to have dinner with me? I think he wants to have dinner with his brothers. You'd just be joining us. Marcus paused. Look, I'm not trying to make this weird. You want to leave, leave. But that hostess, she's not giving you a table. She made up her mind the second you walked in alone. I saw her face. Monica had seen it too. The subtle once-over, the fake smile, the suggestion that perhaps Monica would be more comfortable at the bar. The bar. As if Monica Hayes, who'd argued before the Supreme Court twice, should be grateful for a stool among the drunks. Why would you invite me? Monica asked. After everything. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. The restaurant door opened behind Monica, and a couple swept past in a cloud of expensive perfume and laughter. Neither of them looked at her. Because it's New Year's Eve, Marcus finally said, and nobody should be alone tonight. Something in Monica's chest cracked. She thought of Zoe in Seattle, probably at some tech company party, surrounded by people half Monica's age. Thought of her ex-husband Richard in the Hamptons, with his new wife, the yoga instructor who'd never sentenced a soul in her life. Thought of her chambers, where she'd eaten lunch alone for the past 7 years, because her colleagues found her too rigid, too cold. I don't think this is a good idea, Monica said, but her feet weren't moving toward the street. Probably not, Marcus agreed. But you know what, life's short. I spent 8 years thinking that through. A burst of laughter came from his table. Monica glanced over and saw the little girl, maybe 8 years old now, standing on her chair, arms spread wide, while one of the men pretended to be afraid. The child's joy was so pure it hurt to look at. Who's the girl? Monica asked. Lily, she's mine. Marcus's voice softened. Got custody 2 years ago when her mom passed. Monica looked at him sharply. You have a daughter. Turns out prison gives you a lot of time to think about what matters. Marcus met her eyes. She's the reason I'm still breathing, Judge. The reason I got out and stayed out. Monica's hand loosened on her clutch. She thought of the files she'd reviewed before sentencing Marcus Webb 13 years ago. Father unknown mother, deceased no siblings. She'd used that information to argue for a longer sentence. No family meant no support system, which meant higher recidivism risk. She'd been so sure, so certain of the logic. How old was she when you went in? Monica asked. -6 months. Her mother didn't tell me she was pregnant. Marcus's jaw tightened. Found out when my lawyer tracked me down in Rikers. Bethany was dying, ovarian cancer. Wanted me to know I had a daughter before she passed. Monica felt something twist in her stomach. I didn't know. Wouldn't have changed your sentence anyway, right? There was no accusation in his voice, just statement of fact. Monica wanted to argue, but the words wouldn't come. She'd built her career on consistency, on not letting emotion cloud judgment. A man's circumstances didn't excuse his crimes. That's what she'd always believed. Come on, Marcus said gently. Food's getting cold. Monica found herself walking, just like that. 23 years of judicial propriety, and she was walking toward a table full of her former defendants, because a man she'd sent to prison had shown her more courtesy than everyone else she'd encountered that night. The other men looked up as they approached. Monica recognized two more faces immediately. Jake Sullivan, the burglary case. Pete Morrison, the drug charge. Both had aged, but their eyes still held that same wary alertness she remembered from the courtroom. Guys, Marcus said, this is Judge Hayes. The table went silent. Even the little girl stopped coloring. I know her, Tommy Rodriguez said, emerging from the bathroom. He'd grown a beard since Monica had last seen him, and his eyes carried a weight that hadn't been there at 22. She's the one who gave me 12 years for stealing a car. It wasn't just the car, Monica said automatically. You had a weapon. I had a tire iron in my trunk because I'd been changing flats for cash. Tommy's voice was flat. But yeah, 12 years. Monica's hand went back to her clutch. This was a mistake. A massive mistake. Tommy marked, Marcus said quietly. It's cool. Tommy pulled out a chair and sat down. Ancient history, right? But it wasn't. Monica could see that in every line of his face and the way his hands clenched on the table. She'd taken 12 years of his life. There was nothing ancient about that. Maybe I should go, Monica said. Sit down, Judge. This came from the one man she didn't recognize, older, maybe 60, with gray in his beard and eyes that had seen things Monica couldn't imagine. I'm Ray. I was never in your court. I did my 15 in California before I came east. 15 years, Monica repeated. Manslaughter, bar fight that went too far. Ray's voice was matter of fact. Guy hit my brother with a bottle. I hit him back harder than I meant to. Monica stood there frozen between flight and something she couldn't name. The little girl Lily looked up at her with frank curiosity. Are you a real judge? Lily asked. Yes, Monica said. Like on TV. Something like that. Cool. Lily went back to her coloring. You can sit next to me. I'm drawing a dragon. And somehow, that decided it. Monica sat. She placed her clutch carefully on the table, smoothed her skirt, and tried not to think about what this looked like. A federal judge having dinner with convicted felons. The ethics implications alone could end her career. You like dragons? Lily asked without looking up. Yes, I suppose I do. Me too. My daddy says dragons are misunderstood. Everyone thinks they're scary, but maybe they're just lonely. Marcus coughed. That's enough philosophy, Lilypad. But Monica was staring at the child, at her earnest face and the careful way she colored inside the lines. How old are you, sweetheart? 8 3/4. How old are you, Lily? Marcus warned. It's all right. Monica found herself almost smiling. I'm 62. Wow, that's really old. Now, several of the men did laugh, and some of the tension broke. A waitress appeared, not the hostile hostess, but a tired-looking woman in her 40s who took their orders without judgment. Monica ordered without really seeing the menu, her mind still spinning. When the waitress left, Pete Morrison leaned forward. So this is weird, right? We're all feeling this is weird. Extremely weird, Monica agreed. Good. Pete sat back. Just wanted to establish that. Why did you really invite me? Monica asked Marcus. The truth this time. Marcus looked at his daughter, who was now explaining the intricacies of dragon anatomy to anyone who would listen. Then he looked back at Monica. Because you looked like I felt every night for the first year inside. Like you didn't belong anywhere. Like you'd made all the right choices and still ended up alone. He paused. And because Carlos Rivera wanted me to tell you something. Monica's blood went cold. Carlos Rivera. You remember him. How could she forget armed robbery, assault, resisting arrest? She'd given him 20 years. He'd spat at her feet as the bailiffs dragged him away, shouting that she'd die alone, that her power meant nothing, that she was just another privileged bitch who'd never understand real life. He wants to apologize, Marcus said. Monica almost laughed. He wants to apologize. He does. Been clean for 6 years now. Got his GED, working on a degree. He's got a daughter too, hasn't seen her since she was 3. Wants to be ready for when she's old enough to look him up. Marcus's voice was steady. He asked me to thank you. Thank me. Monica couldn't keep the bitterness from her voice. For 20 years. For not giving him life. For making the sentence consecutive instead of concurrent with his other charges. For writing in the notes that you saw potential for rehabilitation. Marcus pulled out his phone, scrolled, showed Monica a screenshot. He keeps a copy of your sentencing remarks. Says it's the only time anyone in authority ever said he was worth saving. Monica stared at the phone, at her own words from 15 years ago, preserved in a digital photo. Mr. Rivera has made catastrophic choices, but he is 26 years old and I cannot believe his story ends here. I am imposing a sentence that reflects both the severity of his crimes and my hope, perhaps naive, that he will use this time to become someone his daughter can be proud of. She'd forgotten writing that, forgotten believing it. I was angry for a long time, Tommy said suddenly. At you, at the system, at everything. He was turning his water glass, watching the condensation. You know what changed? Monica shook her head, not trusting her voice. I met Carlos in the yard. He was 7 years in, I was maybe 2. I was spiraling, picking fights, heading for solitary or worse. Tommy looked up. He showed me your sentencing letter. Said if a judge who sent him up could still see something worth saving, maybe there was something there. Maybe we weren't done yet. Tommy, well, Monica whispered. I'm not saying thank you. I'm not saying 12 years was right. It wasn't. I lost my 20s, Judge. Lost my girl, lost my shot at college, lost everything. His voice hardened. But I didn't lose myself. That's what Carlos taught me, and he learned it from you. The food arrived. Monica couldn't remember what she'd ordered, but now it sat in front of her, some kind of pasta steam rising in the dim restaurant light. Around her, the men began eating passing bread, arguing about sports. Lily announced her dragon was done and demanded everyone's opinion. Marcus wiped sauce from her chin with the patience of saints. Monica picked up her fork, put it down, picked it up again. You all right? Ray asked quietly. I don't know, Monica admitted. I don't know what I'm doing here. Eating dinner, Ray said. That's all, just dinner. But it wasn't, it couldn't be. Because sitting here, Monica was seeing her life's work from the other side of the bench. She was seeing the men she'd sentenced as fathers and friends, and people who laughed at bad jokes and cut their children's food. She was seeing consequences she'd never had to witness from her chambers. Judge Hayes. Lily was looking at her with solemn eyes. Why do you look so sad? Lily, don't bother the lady, Marcus said. I'm not bothering, I'm asking. Lily turned back to Monica. My daddy says it's okay to be sad. He says sometimes people carry heavy things and they need help putting them down. Monica felt her throat close. This child, this baby who'd been born while her father rotted in a cell because of Monica's gavel, was offering her comfort. The irony was so sharp it drew blood. I am sad, sweetheart, Monica said carefully. But it's complicated grown-up stuff. Is it about work? Yes, mostly about work. My daddy says work is important, but people are importanter. Lily frowned. More important. Is that right, Daddy? That's right, baby girl. Monica looked at Marcus, really looked at him, saw the way he touched his daughter's hair with such gentleness, saw the love there pure and uncomplicated, saw a man who'd lost 8 years but gained everything that mattered. How did you do it? Monica asked him. How did you come out of prison and build this? Marcus was quiet for a moment. I almost didn't. First year out, I was angry. So angry I couldn't see straight. Bethany was gone. Lily was 4 and didn't know me. I had a record, no job, living in a halfway house. He glanced at his brothers. These guys saved me. Showed me Brotherhood isn't about blood. It's about showing up. I showed up to court every day for 30 years, Monica said. Did you though? This came from Jake, the burglary case. He'd been quiet until now, but his eyes were sharp. Or did you just show up to the bench? What's the difference? The bench is up there. Court is down here where the people are. Jake leaned forward. You saw files, Judge. We were lives. Monica's hands clenched in her lap. I gave every case my full attention. I read every brief, every piece of paper that reduced us to words on a page. Jake's voice wasn't angry, just tired. You know what my file didn't say? That I was stealing to pay for my mom's insulin. That I'd tried everything legal first. That I was one bad day away from suicide when I broke that window. That's not an excuse for crime, Monica said automatically. No, it's not, but it's context. It's the human part. Jake sat back. You gave me 3 years. I served 2. Got out, mom was dead. Died 6 months into my sentence from complications. Maybe if I'd been there, I could have... He stopped, shook his head. Point is, you didn't see her. You didn't see me. You saw a case number and a crime. Monica felt like she was drowning. If I considered every defendant's personal story, I'd never be able to do my job. Maybe that's the problem, Pete said softly. Maybe the job shouldn't be doable if you forget the personal stories. The table fell silent. Even Lily had stopped coloring, sensing the weight of the conversation. Monica sat there surrounded by men she'd judged, feeling more exposed than she'd ever felt in her life. These men had seen her in her power, in her robes, with the full force of the federal government behind her words. Now they saw her as she was just a woman alone on New Year's Eve, eating pasta with strangers who weren't strangers at all. I called my daughter today, Monica heard herself say. Zoe, she's in Seattle, works for Amazon. We haven't seen each other in 2 years. The men waited. She didn't answer, sent a text, said she was busy, said we'd catch up soon. Monica's voice cracked. She always says soon. Soon never comes. How old is she? Ray asked. 37. She has her own life. I can't blame her for that. You can blame yourself for not being there while she was building it, Tommy said. There was no cruelty in his voice, just recognition. That's what you're doing, isn't it? Sitting here blaming yourself. Monica looked at him, at this young man whose 20s she'd taken. Yes. Good, that's a start. Tommy picked up his beer. Took me 6 years inside to start blaming myself instead of everyone else. Sounds like you're ahead of schedule. I don't know how to fix it, Monica whispered. Any of it. You can't fix the past, Marcus said, but you can show up for the future. That's all anyone can do. Lily tugged on Monica's sleeve. Miss Judge, do you want to see my dragon? Monica looked down at the drawing. The dragon was purple and green with careful scales and wings spread wide. In one claw, it held what might have been a flower. In the other, a tiny person. It's beautiful, Monica said and meant it. The person is the dragon's friend, Lily explained. Everyone thinks the dragon would eat her, but actually they're best friends. Sometimes things aren't what people think they are. Monica felt tears prick her eyes. She blinked them back hard. That's a very wise story, Lily. I know, my daddy tells me stories like that all the time. He says people judged him wrong too, but he proved them wrong by being a good daddy. Marcus looked like he wanted to disappear under the table. Lily, maybe? It's all right, Monica said. She reached out and touched the drawing gently. Your daddy is very lucky to have you. I'm lucky to have him too, Lily beamed. He makes the best pancakes, and he never lies to me even when the truth is hard. Never lying is important, Monica said faintly. She thought of all the times she'd lied to Zoe. Not big lies, small ones. I'll be at your recital. I'll come to your graduation early. We'll take that trip to Paris. This case is almost over, honey. Then we'll have time. Always later. Always soon. Until soon became never, and Zoe stopped asking. The waitress brought dessert. Monica hadn't ordered dessert, but Lily insisted everyone needed to share the chocolate cake, and somehow Monica ended up with a plate. The cake was good, better than it should be. Or maybe she was just hungry for sweetness, for something that didn't taste like regret. I should tell you something, Pete said suddenly. He was the youngest at the table after Tommy, maybe 35, with nervous hands that hadn't stopped moving all night. I was pissed at you for a long time, Judge. Real pissed. The drug charge, that was bullshit. I had a joint in my car. One joint. You gave me 2 years. Federal property, Monica said automatically. You were stopped at a military checkpoint. I know the law. I'm saying the law was wrong. Pete's voice rose slightly. 2 years for one joint. My girl left me. I lost my job, lost my apartment, all for one fucking joint. Pete, Marcus said quietly. No, I'm saying it. She needs to hear it. Pete looked at Monica. You ruined my life over something that's legal in half the country now. Monica had no defense. He was right. She knew he was right. She'd known it even then, applying mandatory minimums that made no sense, following guidelines that valued consistency over justice. I'm sorry, she said. The table went quiet again. What? Pete stared at her. I'm sorry, you're right. That sentence was wrong. I knew it was wrong when I gave it. I did it anyway. Monica met his eyes. I'm sorry. Pete opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. That's it. You're just sorry. What else can I say? I can't give you those 2 years back. I can't fix what happened to your relationship or your career. I can only tell you that I'm sorry and that I've thought about cases like yours more times than I can count. Monica's voice steadied. The system is broken, Pete. I know that. I've always known that. But I kept enforcing it because I thought consistency mattered more than compassion. Did it? Tommy asked. No. The word came out like a confession. No, it didn't. Ray raised his beer bottle. That might be the most honest thing I've ever heard a judge say. I'm not on the bench right now, Monica said. I'm just a woman eating dinner with people she hurt. People you sentenced according to the law, Marcus corrected. There's a difference with them. Monica looked around the table. The law gave me the power. I chose how to use it. Every time I chose consistency over mercy, that was my choice. Why, Jake asked. Why choose that way? Monica considered the question. Really considered it. Outside the restaurant, fireworks started, early celebrants testing their supplies. The colored lights reflected in the windows, turning everything briefly magical. Because I was afraid, Monica finally said. Afraid that if I showed too much mercy, I'd be seen as weak. Afraid that if I deviated from the guidelines, I'd be reversed on appeal. Afraid that if I acknowledged the human cost of my decisions, I wouldn't be able to make any decisions at all. So you stopped seeing us as human, Tommy said. Made it easier. Yes, the admission hurt. Yes, that's exactly what I did. At least you're honest about it now, Pete muttered. Honesty doesn't fix anything. It's a start. This came from Ray. Better than the judges who never figure it out, who retire thinking they did everything right. Monica laughed bitterly. I don't know if I did anything right. I'm sitting here on New Year's Eve with the men I sentenced because I have nowhere else to be. My daughter won't speak to me. My colleagues tolerate me at best. I've spent 30 years building a career, and I'm not sure it was worth building. Lily looked up from her second piece of cake. My teacher says every mistake is a chance to learn. Are you learning, Miss Judge? Out of the mouths of babes, Monica felt something break open in her chest. Yes, sweetheart, I'm learning. Good, Lily smiled, chocolate on her teeth. Then it's not too late. The men shifted uncomfortably. This had gone deeper than any of them expected. Marcus signaled for another round of drinks. The waitress brought them along with champagne for the table on the house for a few years. It was almost 11:30. 30 minutes to midnight, Ray observed. What are we toasting to, Chino? Second chances, Marcus said immediately. I'll drink to that. Tommy raised his glass. They all looked at Monica. She picked up her champagne, feeling the weight of their eyes. These men who had every reason to hate her, who were instead offering her a seat at their table, waiting for her words. To showing up, Monica said quietly, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. They drank. The champagne was cheap, too sweet, perfect. Monica felt it burn down her throat and settle in her stomach like courage. I need to call my daughter, she said suddenly. Marcus checked his watch. It's 8:30 in Seattle. She might answer. She won't, but I need to try. Monica stood grabbing her purse. Excuse me. She made it to the restaurant's entryway before her hands started shaking. She pulled out her phone, stared at Zoe's contact photo, 3 years old now, from a rare lunch meeting. Her daughter looked so much like Richard. Same dark eyes, same sharp cheekbones. Nothing of Monica except maybe the stubborn set of her jaw. Monica hit call. It rang once, twice, 3 times. She was ready for voicemail when Mom. Monica's breath caught. Zoe, hi. Hi. Is everything okay? Zoe's voice was wary. They only talk for emergencies now. No, yes, I don't know. Monica closed her eyes. I'm having dinner with some people. Former defendants. It's a long story. But sitting here, I realized I've been a terrible mother. Silence on the other end. Monica rushed to fill it. I chose work over you. Every time, every recital, every graduation, every moment that mattered, I chose work. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Zoe. More silence. Then, Mom, are you drunk? No, stone sober, just finally seeing clearly. Monica's voice cracked. I know I can't fix the past, but I want to try for the future. If you'll let me. She could hear Zoe breathing, hear voices in the background, a party laughter. Zoe's real life, the one that didn't include Monica. I don't know what to say, Zoe finally said. You don't have to say anything. I just needed you to know. Monica gripped the phone harder. I love you. I've always loved you. I just didn't know how to show it without giving up the career I'd sacrificed everything for. You sacrificed me for it, Zoe said, and her voice was small, younger than her 37 years. I know I did, and I'll spend the rest of my life regretting that. Monica felt tears running down her face now, not caring who saw. You deserved better. You deserved a mother who showed up. Yeah, Zoe whispered. I did. I want to come visit in January, if you'll have me. No work stuff, no emergencies. Just me being your mom. The pause stretched so long, Monica thought the call had dropped. Okay, Zoe finally said. Okay, come visit. Zoe's voice was tentative, like she was testing out the words. We can, I don't know, get coffee or something. I would love that. Monica was openly crying now. I would love that so much. I have to go. My friends are waiting. Of course, yes. Thank you for answering. Mom, Zoe's voice softened. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, baby girl. The line went dead. Monica stood there, phone pressed to her chest, sobbing in a restaurant entryway while people filed past. She didn't care. For the first time in decades, she didn't care about appearances or propriety or what anyone thought. She just talked to her daughter. Really talked. And Zoe had said, okay. Strong hands on her shoulders. Monica looked up through tears to find Marcus standing there. You all right? He asked gently. She said yes. She said I could visit. Monica laughed, wiping her face. I probably look insane right now. You look like someone who just got a second chance. Marcus smiled. Come on, you're missing midnight. They walked back to the table together. The men had pushed chairs back, making room for the coming celebration. Lily was standing on her chair again, counting down with the restaurant crowd. Monica slid into her seat and without thinking reached for Lily's hand. The little girl took it without question, squeezing tight. 10. Monica looked around the table. At Tommy still watching her with wary eyes but no longer hostile. At Pete nervously tapping his fingers. At Jake, at Ray, at Marcus and his precious daughter. 9. These were good men. Men who'd made mistakes, paid for them, and come out the other side still fighting, still showing up. 8. She'd sent them away. Used the law like a hammer, told herself it was justice. 7. But justice without mercy wasn't justice at all. It was just cruelty with a gavel. Sekuharum. Monica squeezed Lily's hand and felt the child squeeze back, anchoring her to this moment, this truth. 5. She couldn't fix the past. Couldn't give back the years. 4. but she could show up now, could be present, could try to. 3. Monica Hayes had spent 30 years running from her own humanity, running from feeling too much caring, too much hurting, too much. 2. She was done running. 1. Happy New Year. The restaurant erupted. Strangers kissed strangers. Champagne sprayed. Music swelled. And at a corner table, a little girl hugged a federal judge, while her father, a man who'd lost 8 years in prison, looked on with something that might have been forgiveness in his eyes. Monica held Lily close and let herself cry for Zoe, for the men at this table, for every defendant she'd sentenced without really seeing. The child patted her hair like Monica had seen Marcus do earlier, gentle and sure. "It's okay to be sad," Lily whispered, "but it's also okay to be happy. You can be both." Monica pulled back, looking at this wise little soul. "Thank you." "You're welcome, Miss Judge," Lily grinned. "Do you want to help me draw another dragon?" "I would love that more than anything." They drew dragons while the men talked, their voices washing over Monica like a tide. She listened to their stories: Ray's work at a youth center, teaching kids to avoid his mistakes; Jake's construction company, employing ex-cons no one else would hire; Pete's advocacy for drug law reform; Tommy's night classes, working toward the college degree he'd lost. These men had taken their pain and transformed it, had taken the worst thing that ever happened to them and made it mean something. What had Monica done with her power? What had she transformed Judge Hayes? Tommy was looking at her. "You still with us?" "Yes, sorry, just thinking. About how I can do better, on the bench, in my life." Monica set down her crayon purple for Lily's dragon. "About how I've been using the law as a shield when it should be a tool for healing." "Big thoughts for New Year's," Ray observed. "Overdue thoughts." Monica looked at Marcus. "You said Carlos wanted to thank me. Can I write to him?" Marcus raised his eyebrows. "You want to write to an inmate? I want to respond to his apology, if that's allowed, if he'd welcome it." "He'd welcome it." Marcus pulled out his phone. "I'll send you the info." They exchanged numbers, a federal judge and her former defendant, connected now by something more than case files and courtroom drama. Monica saved the contact, then looked at the time. 1:30 in the morning. She'd been here for hours. "I should go," she said reluctantly. "You got a ride?" Jake asked. "I'll call a car." "We can drop you," Marcus offered. "We're heading north anyway." Monica almost declined propriety appearances, ethics violations. Then she stopped herself. Enough. Enough hiding behind rules that kept her safe but isolated. Enough pretending she was above human connection. "That would be lovely, thank you." They bundled up coats and scarves, Lily drooping with exhaustion. Marcus scooped his daughter into his arms like she weighed nothing, and something in Monica's chest ached watching them. Richard had never carried Zoe like that. Too undignified, he'd said. Too indulgent. The men said their goodbyes outside, hugs and handshakes, plans for next week's ride. Monica watched their brotherhood, their ease with each other, and felt the hole in her own life gaping wider. "Judge," Tommy approached, her hands in pockets. "Can I say something?" "Of course. I'm still angry about the 12 years, about everything I lost." He met her eyes. "But I'm working on it. And tonight helped. Just being able to say it to your face." "I'm glad I was here to listen," Monica said. "For what it's worth, I'm working on it too. On being better." "None of us got it figured out," Tommy said. "That's what Carlos taught me. We're all just stumbling forward, trying not to fall." "That should be encouraging," Monica said. "But it's actually terrifying." Tommy laughed, real laughter, the first she'd heard from him all night. "Yeah, it is. Happy New Year, Judge." "Happy New Year, Tommy." Marcus loaded Lily into a car seat in his truck, a beat-up Ford that had seen better days. Monica climbed into the passenger seat, feeling surreal. This morning she'd been untouchable, Judge Hayes above reproach. Tonight she was just Monica, getting a ride home from a man she'd sentenced to 8 years. "Where to?" Marcus asked. Monica gave him her address. The truck rumbled to life, warm air blasting from the vents. In the back seat, Lily was already asleep, head lolled to one side. Marcus drove carefully, watching for drunks on the road. "Thank you," Monica said quietly, "for tonight, for inviting me. You needed a table. We had one." Marcus shrugged. Simple as that. Nothing about tonight was simple. "No," Marcus agreed, "but maybe simple isn't what you needed." They drove in silence for a while. The city was alive with celebration fireworks over the Hudson, drunk revelers spilling from bars, the general chaos of hope that comes with a new year. Monica watched it all through the windshield, feeling like she was seeing New York for the first time. "Can I ask you something?" she said. "Shoot. How did you forgive me? How did any of you—" Marcus was quiet for a long moment. "Who says we did?" Monica looked at him sharply. "Forgiveness isn't a switch," Marcus continued. "It's not like you flip it and everything's good. It's work. Daily work. Some days I wake up angry as hell about the years I lost, about missing Lily's first steps, her first words, her whole first 4 years." His hands tightened on the wheel. "Those days, I'm not sure I forgive anyone. But other days I remember that anger was killing me, that I could spend my whole life pissed off about what I lost, or I could be grateful for what I found." He glanced in the rear view at his sleeping daughter. "She saved me, Judge, not just from prison, from myself." "I'm glad you have her," Monica said. "Yeah, me too." Marcus pulled up to Monica's building, a doorman structure on the Upper East Side, all glass and steel. He whistled low. "Nice place." "It's empty," Monica said. "Most of the time it's just empty." "Fill it then. Invite your daughter. Invite friends. Have people over." "I don't really have friends." "You have us now," Marcus said simply. "We're not much, but we're real." Monica felt her throat close again. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet. I'm probably going to regret giving you my number when you start calling about sentencing reform at 3 a.m. Monica laughed despite herself. "I wouldn't do that." "Sure you would. You're a fighter. I saw that in court. Saw it tonight too." Marcus looked at her seriously. "Don't stop fighting, Judge. The system needs people on the inside who give a damn. But maybe remember that the people in front of you are people, not just cases." "I will," Monica promised. "I'll try." She climbed out of the truck, then leaned back in. "Marcus, Happy New Year." "Happy New Year, Judge Hayes. May it be better than the last." "It already is," Monica said and meant it. She watched the truck pull away, then turned to face her building. The doorman greeted her by name. He always did, professional and distant. Monica wondered if he had a family, if he went home to people who loved him. She'd never asked. "Happy New Year, James," she said. He blinked, surprised. "Happy New Year, Judge Hayes. How's your family? Do you have kids?" "2 boys, 8 and 10. I have a daughter, 37, in Seattle." Monica smiled. "I'm going to visit her next month." "That's wonderful, ma'am." Monica rode the elevator to her floor, let herself into her apartment. It was exactly as she'd left it, immaculate, cold, empty. Case files on the dining table, judicial robes hanging in the closet, awards on the walls, the trappings of success. She walked to the window and looked out at the city. Somewhere out there, Marcus was carrying his sleeping daughter inside. Tommy was probably still at the restaurant having one more beer. Pete and Jake and Ray were riding through the Knight brothers in leather. Zoe was at a party in Seattle, maybe thinking about their conversation. And Monica was here in her empty apartment, finally understanding what she'd lost. But loss wasn't the end. That's what tonight had taught her. Loss was just the space where something new could grow. Monica pulled out her phone and opened a new note. "Ways to do better," she titled it. Then she started writing. "Listen more in court. Ask defendants about their lives. Question mandatory minimums. Push for alternatives to incarceration. Visit prisons to see where I'm sending people. Write to Carlos. Call Zoe every week. Join a community group. Have people over for dinner. Make friends. Be human. Show up. Show up." Monica saved the note and set her phone down. Through the window, more fireworks exploded, red and gold, beautiful and temporary. Tomorrow she'd wake up and still be Judge Hayes, still have to navigate a broken system, still carry the weight of every sentence she'd ever delivered. But tonight, for the first time in decades, she'd been just Monica, a woman eating dinner with people who'd shown her more grace than she'd shown them, a mother trying to rebuild a bridge to her daughter, a human being flawed and stumbling but trying. Lily was right, it wasn't too late. Monica Hayes stood at her window and welcomed the new year, carrying both her sadness and her hope. She could be both. She was both. And that would have to be enough. Monica woke at 6 a.m. to her phone ringing. She grabbed it instinctively. Heart-pounding judges learned to fear early morning calls. Deaths, emergencies, threats. "Mom." Monica sat up so fast she nearly dropped the phone. Zoe, what's wrong? Nothing's wrong. Zoe's voice was uncertain. I couldn't sleep. Keep thinking about what you said last night. Monica's chest tightened. I meant every word. I know, that's what's keeping me up. Zoe paused. Tell me about these people you had dinner with. Former defendants. Yes, it's complicated. I have time. So Monica told her. About the restaurant, the rejection, Marcus appearing like some kind of leather-clad guardian angel. About Lily and her dragons. About Tommy's anger and Carlos's message. And her own terrible realizations sitting at that table. You sat with people you sent to prison, Zoe said slowly, on purpose. It wasn't exactly planned. But you stayed, Glenn. Yes. Why? Monica looked at the ceiling of her bedroom. Because they saw me, Zoe, really saw me. Not Judge Hayes with all her power and distance. Just Monica alone on New Year's Eve with nowhere to go. Zoe was quiet for a long time. I didn't know you were lonely. I didn't either. Not until last night. Mom, Zoe's voice cracked. I've been angry at you for so long. You have every right to be. Stop. Stop doing that. Stop being so reasonable. Zoe sounded frustrated. I want you to fight back. Defend yourself. Tell me I'm wrong. Monica gripped the phone harder. But you're not wrong. I chose work over you. I did. I can't defend that. You're doing it again. Doing what? Being the judge. Even now, you're just accepting the verdict without arguing your case. Zoe's breathing was ragged. I need you to tell me why. Really why, not some clean explanation. The messy truth. Monica's hand trembled. The messy truth. When had she last told anyone the messy truth? I was terrified of you, Monica whispered. Silence. What? Zoe finally said. You were so small, so perfect, so vulnerable. When they put you in my arms at the hospital, I looked at you and thought, I'm going to fail this child. I'm going to screw this up so badly. Monica felt tears coming. Your father was good at the baby stuff. Natural. He'd sing to you, rock you, know exactly what you needed. I felt like an imposter. So I did what I was good at. I worked. You were afraid of me, Zoe repeated. Of failing you. Of proving that beneath the robes and the reputation, I was just a woman who didn't know how to love right. So you didn't try. So I didn't try, Monica echoed. I told myself you were better off with your father, that you didn't need me hovering, smothering, that I was giving you independence, teaching you strength. You were protecting yourself, Zoe said. Yes, from me, from failing you, from watching you realize your mother was a coward. Zoe laughed a broken, bitter sound. You sent men to prison, Mom. You stood up to senators and criminals and corporations. But you couldn't show up to my 10th birthday party. I know. Do you really know what that felt like, sitting there with all my friends, watching the door, sure you'd come, and then Dad had to explain again that you had a case, that it was important, that you loved me, but duty called. Monica was crying now, silent tears running down her face. I'm sorry. I learned not to expect you. That's what you taught me. Don't expect Mom. Don't count on Mom. Mom has better things to do. You were never second to anything. Monica choked out. You were everything. You terrified me because you were everything. Then why did you leave? Zoe was crying too now. Why did you always leave? Because I didn't know how to stay. Because staying meant being vulnerable, being wrong, being human. And I'd spent my whole life proving I was above all that. The line crackled with their shared breathing, shared tears. I want to believe you can change, Zoe said, but I don't know if I can survive being disappointed again. Then don't believe me. Watch me. Let me prove it through actions, not words. January, Zoe said. You said you'd come in January. I will. I swear on everything I have, I will be there. Okay, Zoe's voice was small. Okay, but Mom, if you cancel, if you do what you always do, we're done. I can't do this anymore. I understand. I mean it. This is the last chance. I know. They said goodbye. Monica sat in her bed, phone pressed to her chest, feeling like she'd just run a marathon. Outside her window, the city was waking up. First day of the new year, first day of trying to be better. Her phone buzzed, a text from Marcus. Lily wants to know if you'll come to her birthday party next week. No pressure, just a kid asking. Monica stared at the message. A week ago, she would have declined. Inappropriate, boundary crossing, ethics violations waiting to happen. She typed back, I'd love to. Thank you for inviting me. Three dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. You sure it's at Chuck E. Cheese? Fair warning, it's chaos. Monica smiled despite her tears. I've handled mob trials. I think I can manage Chuck E. Cheese. Don't say I didn't warn you. Monica set her phone down and forced herself out of bed. She had work to do. Real work. Not case files, though those waited on her dining table like patient accusers. No, she needed to understand what she'd been doing all these years. Needed to see it with clear eyes. She pulled up her sentencing records. 23 years on the bench. Thousands of cases. She started sorting violent crimes in one column, drug offenses in another, property crimes in a third. Then she cross-referenced with recidivism rates, looking for patterns. The numbers made her sick. Her drug offense sentences, harsh by the book, showed a 70% recidivism rate. But Judge Martinez in the Southern District, known for alternative sentencing and rehabilitation programs, had a 40% rate. Same crimes, different outcomes. The difference was mercy. Monica kept digging, found case after case where she'd chosen the maximum sentence, where guidelines gave her discretion, but she'd opted for harshness. To send a message she'd written in her notes, to ensure public safety, to maintain consistency. Bullshit, all of it. She'd been protecting herself, protecting her reputation as a tough judge who didn't go soft. And men like Tommy had paid the price. Her phone rang again. Unknown number. Monica almost didn't answer. Judge Hayes, it's Ray. From last night. Ray, hello. Hope I'm not calling too early. Got your number from Marcus. He paused. I run a re-entry program for ex-cons. Help guys transition back to society. We're always looking for speakers, people who can share different perspectives. You want me to speak to former inmates. I want you to listen, to hear their stories, see what life looks like after the gavel falls. Ray's voice was gentle but firm. You said last night you wanted to do better. This is how? Monica's first instinct was to refuse. Her second was to question the ethics. Her third was to remember Lily saying it wasn't too late. When, she asked. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. I'll text you the address. I'll be there. She hung up and sat with what she'd just agreed to. Tomorrow she'd walk into a room full of men she'd sentenced, or men sentenced by judges just like her. Men with every reason to hate her, and she'd listen. The phone rang a third time. Monica glanced at the caller ID and her stomach dropped. Gerald Ashford, chief judge of her circuit, her boss. Gerald, Happy New Year. Monica, we need to talk. Can you come to my office? When? Now would be good. Monica closed her eyes. Someone had seen her last night. Of course they had. In New York, everyone saw everything. I'll be there in an hour. She dressed carefully, her armor, the professional shell she'd worn for decades. Pearls, suit, sensible heels. Judge Hayes untouchable and above reproach. Except she wasn't anymore. She'd sat with convicted felons and cried at their table. She'd confessed her failures to her daughter. She'd agreed to speak at a re-entry program. The carefully constructed walls were crumbling, and Monica wasn't sure she wanted to stop them. Gerald's office was in the courthouse, all dark wood and leather chairs. He sat behind his massive desk, looking like God about to pass judgment. Monica had the absurd urge to laugh. She knew exactly what defendants felt walking into her courtroom now. Sit, Gerald said. Monica sat. I got an interesting call this morning from Marshall Reed. He was having dinner at 11 Madison last night. I see. He saw you dining with several men. Men in motorcycle club attire. Men you'd previously sentenced. Gerald's expression was unreadable. Care to explain? I was invited to join them. I accepted. You were invited by former defendants. Yes. And you thought this was appropriate. Gerald leaned forward. Monica, what the hell were you thinking? I was thinking that I was alone on New Year's Eve and someone showed me kindness. Monica met his eyes. I was thinking that maybe I needed to see the people I sentence as people, not case numbers. You're a federal judge. You don't have the luxury of personal enlightenment dinners with convicted felons. Why not? Gerald blinked. Excuse me. Why not? Monica repeated. Why can't I see the human cost of my decisions? Why am I supposed to stay isolated in my ivory tower pretending the people I sentence cease to exist after the gavel falls? Because it compromises your objectivity. Or maybe it restores it. Maybe objectivity without humanity is just cruelty with better PR. Gerald stared at her. Who are you and what did you do with Monica Hayes? I'm still here, just trying to be better. Better. Gerald's voice rose. You're jeopardizing your career, your reputation. For what? What exactly am I risking the respect of colleagues who barely speak to me? The reputation as the ice queen who never shows mercy. Monica felt something fierce rising in her chest. I've spent 23 years building a career I'm not sure I'm proud of, Gerald. Maybe it's time to risk it for something that actually matters. You're having a crisis. I'm having a reckoning. Same thing. Gerald rubbed his temples. Look, I understand. The job is hard. It's lonely. We all question our decisions sometimes. But you don't do this. You don't blur lines with defendants. They're not defendants anymore. They're citizens. They serve their time. They're still inappropriate dinner companions for a sitting judge. Monica stood. Are we done here? Monica, because if you're going to discipline me, do it. Write me up. Start an ethics investigation. But don't lecture me about propriety when you spent last Christmas at Aspen with defense attorneys from cases you presided over. Gerald's face reddened. That's different. How because they're rich because they wear suits instead of leather? Monica grabbed her purse. I'm going to visit a re-entry program tomorrow. I'm going to a child's birthday party next week. I'm going to write to an inmate. And if any of that violates the ethics code, then maybe the ethics code needs to change. She was at the door when Gerald spoke again. Your seat is up for review this year. Monica turned. I know. This kind of behavior, it could affect the decision. Senate confirmations aren't guaranteed anymore. I know that too. And you're willing to risk it. Monica thought of Lily asking why she looked so sad, of Zoe's cracked voice saying this was the last chance, of Tommy's anger and Carlos's message, and her own reflection in the restaurant window alone powerful and utterly empty. Yes, she said, I'm willing to risk it. She left before Gerald could respond. Walked through the courthouse halls past portraits of judges who'd served before her. All men mostly white, all looking stern and untouchable. Monica wondered how many of them had died alone surrounded by case files and regrets. Her clerk Jennifer was waiting in Monica's chambers with coffee and concern. Judge Hayes, I heard you were called to Chief Judge Ashford's office. Nothing to worry about, Jennifer. People are talking about last night. Monica set down her purse and looked at Jennifer, 28, brilliant, hungry for the career Monica had built. What are they saying? That you were seen with Hell's Angels? That you're having some kind of breakdown? Jennifer hesitated. Is it true? Which part? Any of it. Monica poured herself coffee, added cream she didn't usually take. I had dinner with former defendants. Good men who made mistakes and paid for them. And yes, I suppose I am having a breakdown. Or maybe a breakthrough. I'm not sure there's a difference. Jennifer stared at her. You're serious. Completely. But judge your reputation. My reputation is that I'm brilliant and cold and impossible to work with. That I sacrifice everything for the bro and have no life outside these walls. Monica sipped her coffee. Tell me, Jennifer, is that really worth protecting? Jennifer opened her mouth, closed it, tried again. I always thought you had it all figured out. So did I. Turns out I was wrong. Monica smiled sadly. Learn from my mistakes. Don't wait 23 years to realize you've been living half a life. What are you going to do? My job, but better, more humanely. Monica pulled up her calendar. Cancel my lunch with Senator Bradley. I'm eating at the courthouse cafeteria. I want to talk to the support staff, the janitors, the people who actually make this place run. You never eat at the cafeteria. I know, that changes today. Jennifer left looking confused and maybe a little scared. Monica didn't blame her. She'd been that young attorney once certain the path to success meant sacrifice, isolation, proving you were tougher than everyone else. She spent the morning reviewing pending cases, but everything looked different now. A drug possession case, first-time offender, single mother caught with pills she'd bought for her dying father who couldn't afford his prescriptions. Monica had been ready to give her the mandatory 5 years. Now she saw the woman's children saw them in foster care, while their mother rotted in prison for trying to ease her father's pain. Monica called for sentencing alternatives, asked her clerk to research drug courts, rehabilitation programs, community service options. Jennifer brought back the information looking stunned. "I've worked for you for 2 years," Jennifer said. "You've never asked for alternatives before. I'm asking now." Another case: burglary. Kid barely 19 stole a laptop from a dorm room. Rich kid football scholarship. Bright future. The prosecutor was asking for probation. Monica had been inclined to agree. Why ruin a promising life over one mistake? But now she thought of Jake stealing to pay for his mother's insulin. She'd given him 3 years. Would she have given this kid the same? Or would she have seen his privilege, his potential, and shown mercy she denied to Jake? Monica picked up her phone and called the prosecutor. "The burglary case, State versus Williams. Why are you recommending probation?" "Kid's got no record, Judge. First offense. He's cooperative, remorseful. And if he were black poor, if he'd stolen from a mansion instead of a dorm room..." Silence on the other end. "I'm genuinely asking," Monica said. "Would your recommendation be the same?" I don't know, Judge." "Find out. Look at similar cases from the past 5 years. Tell me what the pattern is. Race class, who got probation and who got time." "That's a lot of work." "Yes, it is. Have it on my desk by Monday." She hung up and stared at her hands. These hands had signed hundreds of sentencing orders. Had they been fair, consistent, or had they been unconsciously biased, showing mercy to people who looked like her, lived like her, while coming down hard on people whose lives she'd never bothered to understand? The cafeteria at lunch was crowded and loud. Monica got in line with her tray like everyone else, ignoring the stares. She paid for mystery meat and watery vegetables, then looked for a place to sit. "Judge Hayes," a young woman waved from a corner table. "You can sit here if you want." Monica recognized her, Maria, one of the court reporters. She'd worked in Monica's courtroom for 6 years. Monica had never learned her last name. "Thank you." Monica sat down, feeling awkward. "How was your New Year's?" Maria blinked. "It was good, quiet. My abuela came over, we made tamales." She paused. "You've never asked me about my family before." "I know, I'm sorry about that." "You're sorry." Maria glanced at the other women, at the table clerks, assistants, support staff. "Did something happen?" "I realized I've been a terrible colleague," Monica said honestly. "I'd like to do better if you'll let me." The women exchanged looks. One of them, Monica thought her name was Linda, leaned forward. "You want to do better? Start by not treating us like furniture. We're here every day doing the work that keeps this place running, and you look through us like we're ghosts." Monica absorbed the hit. "You're right. And the way you talked to Maria last month when she asked to leave early for her son's school thing, that was cruel." Monica tried to remember. Couldn't. "What did I say?" "You said if she couldn't prioritize the job, maybe she should find another one." Monica's stomach turned. "I said that..." "You did." Maria's voice was quiet. "My son had his first band concert. I missed it because I was scared of losing my job." "Maria, I'm so sorry." "Why should we believe you?" Linda asked. "You've been here for years. Why change now?" Monica set down her fork. "Because I had dinner with men I sent to prison, and they showed me more grace than I've shown anyone in decades. Because my daughter barely speaks to me. Because I'm 62 years old and utterly alone, and I'm finally realizing it's my own fault." The table went silent. "That's honest," Maria finally said. "I'm trying to be, for the first time in a long time." They talked, really talked, about their kids, their struggles, the impossibility of balancing work and life, about how judges got flexible schedules but support staff had to punch clocks, about wages that hadn't kept pace with New York rent, about feeling invisible. Monica listened, really listened, and with every story she felt her worldview shifting. These women weren't just cogs in the judicial machine. They were mothers, daughters, human beings trying to survive in a system that chewed them up. "What can I do," Monica asked, "to make this better?" "Actually listen when we ask for time off," Linda said immediately. "Done. What else?" "Fight for better pay," Maria added. "I'll talk to the chief judge." "You do that?" Maria looked skeptical. "I just told him I was willing to risk my seat for what's right. Advocating for you seems like a good place to start." Monica returned to her chambers that afternoon, feeling raw but purposeful. She drafted a memo to Gerald outlining the pay discrepancy between support staff and attorneys, the lack of flexibility, the need for better childcare options. She cited studies made the case for retention and morale. Then she sent it before she could second-guess herself. Gerald called within the hour. "What the hell is this? A proposal for treating our support staff like human beings. Monica, we don't have budget for raises." "Then find it. Cut judicial travel expenses. Reduce the conference budget, or I'll write an op-ed about how we expect low-wage workers to uphold justice while we dine at taxpayer expense." "You wouldn't? Try me." She hung up before he could respond. Her hands were shaking. She just threatened the chief judge, threatened to go public with internal issues. She was burning every bridge she'd spent decades building, and she felt more alive than she had in years. That evening, Monica went through her files again, found case after case where she'd been technically correct but morally wrong. A man sentenced to 10 years for possession with intent to distribute his distribution was sharing his prescription painkillers with his dying wife. A woman given 3 years for welfare fraud, she'd lied about her income to keep her disabled daughter's benefits. Technical crimes, human desperation, and Monica had thrown the book at them because the law said she could. She started writing letters, not official correspondence, personal letters, to Carlos Rivera first. "Dear Carlos, Marcus Webb tells me you wanted to send a message. I want you to know I received it. More than that, I heard it. You were right to be angry at me that day in court. I didn't see you. I saw your crimes and made you pay for them. I didn't ask about your daughter, your circumstances, your humanity. I'm sorry. That apology can't give you back the years you've lost, but I hope it's a start. I'm trying to be better, to see the people in front of me, not just the case files. Thank you for reminding me that potential for change exists in all of us, including judges. With respect and regret, Monica Hayes." She wrote to the single mother she was about to sentence. "Before I make my decision, I want to hear from you, not through your attorney, from you. Tell me about your father, about your children, about what you need to heal and rebuild. Tell me the story that isn't in the case file." She wrote to Jake Sullivan, tracked down his contact through Marcus. "I took 3 years of your life when your mother was dying. I'm sorry. I wish I had asked more questions. I wish I had shown mercy. I can't fix the past, but I want you to know I'm working to fix the future." By midnight, Monica had written 14 letters. Her hand cramped, her eyes burned. But she kept writing, kept trying to reach across the divide she'd created between bench and humanity. Her phone buzzed, Zoe sending a photo. "This is me at 23, right after I graduated. You didn't come." Monica stared at the picture. Zoe in cap and gown, smiling, too bright, eyes too sad. She texted back, "I remember. I was presiding over a corruption trial. I told myself it was important. I was wrong. You were important. You'll always be more important." 3 dots appeared. "I looked for you in the crowd, kept thinking maybe you'd surprise me. I'm so sorry, baby." "I know. That's what makes it hard. I believe you're sorry, but sorry doesn't give me back those moments." "No, it doesn't." "January 15th, that's when you're coming." "Yes, I'll book the flight tonight." "Okay, I'm scared to hope, Mom, but I'm trying. That's all I can ask." Monica booked the flight, then sat with her phone looking at Zoe's graduation photo. All the moments she'd missed flashed through her mind. First steps, first words, first heartbreak, all sacrificed for cases she couldn't even remember now. But she remembered the verdicts, remembered every sentence she'd delivered. Funny how that worked. She knew the names of men she'd sent away, but couldn't recall what case had kept her from her daughter's graduation. Her priorities had been backwards all along. Monica fell asleep at her desk, head on her arms, surrounded by letters she'd never thought she'd write. And when she woke at 3 a.m. with a cramp in her neck, her first thought wasn't about cases or calendars. It was about Lily's birthday party, about Chuck E. Cheese chaos, about showing up for a child who'd shown her more wisdom than any courtroom ever had. Monica smiled in the darkness of her chambers. Tomorrow she'd face a room full of former inmates. Next week she'd navigate ball pits and arcade games. In 2 weeks she'd fly across the country to have coffee with the daughter she'd failed. She was terrified, but terror felt better than the emptiness she'd been carrying. Terror meant she was alive, trying, risking. Terror meant she was finally showing up. And showing up, Monica was beginning to understand, was the only thing that really mattered. The reentry program met in a church basement that smelled like coffee and old books. Monica stood outside the door at 6:55, straightening her coat for the third time. Through the small window, she could see men settling into folding chairs, laughing, talking, living their lives after prison, lives she'd interrupted with her gavel. You coming in or you planning to stand out here all night? Monica turned. Ray stood behind her, 2 boxes of donuts balanced in his arms. I don't know what I'm doing here, Monica admitted. You're listening. That's all. Ray shifted the boxes. You gonna get the door or make an old man struggle? Monica opened the door, heads turned, conversations stopped. She recognized faces, not all of them, but enough. A man from a weapons charge 5 years ago. Another from a fraud case. How many of these men had stood before her bench? Everyone, this is Judge Monica Hayes, Ray announced. She's here to listen to your stories. And before anyone gets angry, yes, that Judge Hayes. Some of you were in her courtroom. She knows that. She came anyway. A man in the back stood up. Older, maybe 50, with prison tattoos fading on his forearms. You gave me 7 years for a bar fight. Remember me, David Chen? Monica's throat went dry. I remember. You told me I was a danger to society, that I needed to be removed from decent people. David's voice was steady but hard. You know what 7 years does to a man, Judge? No, Monica said quietly. I don't. It breaks him. Rebuilds him wrong, makes him forget how to be around people who aren't looking for reasons to hurt him. David took a step forward. I got out 3 years ago. Still can't sleep without checking the locks 5 times. Still flinch when someone raises their voice. You did that. Monica forced herself to hold his gaze. You're right. I did. That's it. That's all you got to say. What do you want me to say, Merchen? That I was wrong? I was. That I'm sorry? I am. That I can fix it. Monica's voice cracked. I can't. I can't give you back 7 years. I can't undo the damage. I can only stand here and admit that I failed you. David stared at her. Why are you here? Because I had dinner with Marcus Webb and Tommy Rodriguez on New Year's Eve, and they made me see what I've been doing, who I've been hurting. Monica looked around the room. Because I'm 62 years old and I've been a judge for 23 years, and I'm starting to think I've been doing it all wrong. Starting to think, someone called out. Knowing, Monica corrected. Knowing I've been doing it wrong. Ray gestured to an empty chair. Sit down, Judge. Let's start this right. Monica sat. The metal chair was cold and uncomfortable. Good. She deserved uncomfortable. We go around, everyone shares their story, Ray explained. You just listen. Don't interrupt. Don't defend yourself. Just hear them. The first man was named Jerome. 28 now, served 6 years for armed robbery. Not in Monica's courtroom, but he'd been sentenced by a judge just like her. I was 19 when I got caught. Desperate, stupid, scared. Had a baby daughter and no job. So I robbed a convenience store with my cousin's gun. Didn't even know if it was loaded. Jerome's hands clenched. Got 6 years. My daughter's 7 now. She don't know me. Calls my mother Mama because that's who raised her while I was gone. Monica felt the words like physical blows, but she stayed quiet, listened. Next was Stephen. Embezzlement. I took money from my company to pay for my wife's cancer treatment. Insurance denied her, said it was experimental. So I stole $70,000 and bought her 6 more months of life. His voice broke. Worth it, even with the 5 years inside. But I missed her funeral. They wouldn't let me go. Said I was a flight risk. Then Angela, one of only 3 women in the room. Prostitution and drug possession. I was turning tricks to feed my habit. Judge gave me 3 years. Came out clean, been sober 6 years now. But my kids were in foster care by then. System split them up. I'm still fighting to get them back. Story after story, pain after pain. And Monica sat there absorbing it, feeling her carefully constructed worldview crumbling. A young man named Marcus, not Webb. Different Marcus stood up. I got 10 years for selling weed. Just weed. Now it's legal, and white guys are making millions doing what I went to prison for. His laugh was bitter. Tell me that's justice. Monica couldn't. She had no defense. When David Chen's turn came again, he stood slowly. I want to tell you what 7 years took from me, Judge Hayes. I want you to really hear it. Please, Monica said. I missed my daughter's wedding. She got married without me. My wife divorced me after year 3. Said she couldn't do it anymore, couldn't be married to a ghost. I lost my business. I had a restaurant, was doing good. Gone. Lost my house. Lost my savings, paying lawyers. David's voice rose. I lost my father. He died while I was inside, heart attack. They wouldn't let me go to the funeral. Said the same thing they told Stephen flight risk. I begged them, got on my knees and begged. They said no. Monica's eyes burned. I'm sorry. You said violence required punishment. You said I needed to learn consequences. You know what I learned? David moved closer. I learned that judges don't see people. They see crimes. They see statistics. They see numbers on a docket. You're right. Stop saying that. David's control broke. Stop agreeing with me. Fight back. Tell me I deserved it. Tell me the law is the law. But you didn't deserve it, Monica said, standing. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The law gave me discretion. I chose harshness over mercy. That was my choice. Why? David demanded. Why'd you choose that? Monica felt the room watching, waiting. Because mercy felt weak. Because I was a woman in a male-dominated field, and I thought being tough made me strong. Because somewhere along the way, I forgot that every defendant was someone's father, someone's son, someone's whole world. My daughter cried at her wedding, David said quietly. Cried because her daddy wasn't there to walk her down the aisle. You did that, Judge. You took that moment from both of us. Monica felt tears running down her face. She didn't wipe them away. I did, and I will carry that for the rest of my life. David stared at her, then slowly sat back down. The room was silent except for someone's phone buzzing. Ray cleared his throat. Anyone else want to share? A man in the corner raised his hand. Monica didn't recognize him. I wasn't in your court, Judge Hayes, but I was in front of Judge Morrison. She gave me 20 years for a drug deal gone wrong. I've served 12, got out last month. What was your name? Monica asked. Does it matter? We're all the same to you people. The accusation stung because it was true. It matters. Please. Robert Williams. Thank you for sharing, Robert. I didn't share yet. His smile was sharp. I'm about to. You want to know what 20 years did I went in at 24, came out at 44. My whole life gone. My 20s, my 30s. The years when you're supposed to build something, supposed to become someone. Gone. I can't imagine. No, you can't. Because you went home every night. You had dinner parties and vacations and normal life while we rotted in cages. Robert's voice was rising. You talk about justice like it's some noble thing, but it's just revenge dressed up pretty. That's all it is. Monica felt anger flare for the first time. So what's the answer? No punishment, no consequences. There it is, Robert said. There's the judge, wondering if we think crime should just be okay. That's not what I meant. It's exactly what you meant. Because you can't imagine a world where justice doesn't mean suffering, where consequences don't mean cages. Then tell me, Monica challenged, tell me what justice should look like. Robert stood, walked to the front of the room, looked Monica dead in the eye. It should look like understanding why I sold drugs in the first place. Should look like asking why a college graduate with a degree couldn't find work that paid enough to support his mother. Should look like programs and help instead of punishment and abandonment. The law doesn't allow. Change the law, Robert shouted. You're a federal judge. You have power. Use it for something other than destroying lives. The room erupted, men talking over each other, anger boiling over. Ray stood trying to calm everyone down, but the damage was done. Monica had walked into a powder keg and lit it. Enough, Ray's voice cut through. Everyone sit down, now. Slowly, reluctantly, the room settled. Judge Hayes came here to listen, Ray said firmly. She's doing that. She's not defending herself. She's not making excuses. She's hearing you. That's more than any judge has ever done for us, so show her the same respect. Why should we? Someone called out. Because she's trying, and trying counts for something. A man Monica hadn't noticed before stood up. Huge scarred presence like a freight train. Judge Hayes doesn't remember me, but I remember her. Monica's heart stopped. I'm sorry, I don't. Carlos Rivera. The room went silent. Monica felt the blood drain from her face. Carlos. Yeah, he moved forward. Every man in the room was watching. You gave me 20 years. I spat at your feet, told you that you'd die alone and miserable. Remember now? Yes, Monica's voice was barely a whisper. I meant it too. Every word. I hated you more than I've hated anyone in my life. Carlos stopped 3 feet away. Spent the first 5 years inside planning what I'd say if I ever saw you again. Practiced it. Perfect revenge speech. Monica couldn't move. Couldn't breathe. Then I got your letter, Carlos said. You got it. This morning, read it 5 times. Carlos pulled a folded paper from his pocket. You apologized. Actually apologized. And you said something about my daughter, about hoping I'd be ready when she looks me up. I meant that. I know you did. I could tell. Carlos's voice got rough. My daughter's name is Isabella. She's 20 now, goes to community college, works at Target, has a boyfriend I'll probably hate. He smiled slightly. She wrote to me 6 months ago. First contact in 17 years. Said she wanted to meet her father. Monica's hands were shaking. That's wonderful. It's terrifying because I got 8 years left on my sentence, Judge. 8 more years before I can hold my daughter, look her in the eye, tell her, I'm sorry for every way I failed her. I'm sorry, Monica whispered. I know. That's why I'm here. Carlos looked around the room. Marcus called me yesterday, said you were coming here trying to understand. Said maybe I should show up, face you in person. Are you on furlough? Compassionate release hearing next month. My lawyer thinks I got a shot. Carlos folded the letter carefully. I'm going to ask them to consider your letter from the judge who sentenced me saying she was wrong. Monica felt her legs go weak. You think it will help? I don't know, but it's a chance. More than I had before. Carlos, if there's anything else I can do, there is. He moved closer. Go back to your courtroom and see people. Really see them. Ask questions. Show mercy when you can. And when the law won't let you fight to change the law. I will. I swear I will. Good. Carlos held out his hand. Then we're square. Monica took his hand. His grip was firm, calloused, real. She held on maybe too long, trying to communicate everything words couldn't say. When Carlos sat down, the energy in the room shifted. Other men started sharing not just their pain, but their rebuilding. Jerome talked about the classes he was taking to get custody of his daughter. Angela shared about her sobriety and the job she'd landed at a nonprofit. Stephen described the grief support group that had saved his life after his wife's death. They were more than their crimes, more than their sentences. They were human beings fighting to reclaim their lives from a system designed to throw them away. Ray ended the meeting at 9. Men filed out slowly, some nodding at Monica, some avoiding her eyes. David Chen paused at the door. Judge Hayes, Monica looked up. Yes. I'm still angry. At you, at the system, at everything. I don't know if that'll ever change. I understand. But I appreciate you coming. Takes guts to face people you hurt. It's the least I could do. David almost smiled. Maybe, but it's more than most judges would do. He left before Monica could respond. She helped Ray fold chairs, needing the physical task to ground herself. Her hands wouldn't stop shaking. That was hard, Ray said. That was necessary. Monica stacked another chair. Ray, what? David said about his father's funeral. Does that happen often? Denied compassionate release. All the time. System assumes every inmate is looking for escape. Forgets they're humans with families with grief. That's barbaric. That's the law. Ray looked at her steadily. You could change that. Judges have discretion on compassionate release. You could use yours. Monica thought of all the requests she'd denied over the years. Denied without much thought. Following guidelines. Maintaining order. I will, she said. From now on, I will. Ray drove her home. They didn't talk much. Monica was too overwhelmed, Ray too wise to push. When they pulled up to her building, Monica didn't move. I ruined lives tonight, she said. Heard how I destroyed people and couldn't do anything to fix it. You did something. You listened. You admitted fault. You're trying to do better. Ray's voice was gentle. That's not nothing, Judge. It feels like nothing compared to what they lost. Maybe, but it's a start, and starting is the hardest part. Monica climbed out of the car, then leaned back in. Thank you for letting me come tonight. Thank you for having the courage to show up. Inside her apartment, Monica couldn't sleep. She kept seeing their faces. David Chen, Carlos Rivera, Robert Williams, all the men she'd sentenced, all the lives she'd interrupted. The weight of it was crushing. Her phone buzzed at midnight. Marcus Webb. Heard you went to Ray's program tonight. How'd it go? Monica almost laughed. Terrible, necessary, life-changing. I don't know. That sounds about right. Listen, Lily's party is Saturday at 2. You still coming? Yes, absolutely yes. Good. She's been talking about you nonstop. Wants to show you her new dragon drawing. Monica felt something warm in her chest. I can't wait to see it. Fair warning, her friends are loud and chaos incarnate, and Chuck E. Cheese is basically sensory overload hell. Marcus, I just spent 3 hours being told by former inmates how I destroyed their lives. I think I can handle 8-year-olds and an animatronic rat. Marcus laughed. Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. They hung up. Monica pulled out her laptop and started researching compassionate release guidelines. Found case after case where judges denied it for flimsy reasons. Insufficient showing of exceptional circumstances. Risk to community safety. Bureaucratic language hiding the human cost. She drafted new guidelines for her own courtroom. Every compassionate release request would get a hearing. The defendant would appear in person if possible, via video if not. Family members could testify. Medical experts could weigh in. And Monica would actually consider the request as if the person in front of her mattered. Because they did matter. That was the whole point. At 2 a.m. her phone rang. Zoe. Mom, sorry, is it too late? No, honey, I'm up. What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I was thinking about what you said, about being afraid of me. Zoe's voice was soft. That made me so sad, Mom, because I was afraid of you too. Monica's chest tightened. Afraid of me. Terrified. You were so perfect, so accomplished, so intimidating. I always felt like I could never measure up. Like nothing I did would be good enough. Zoe, you were always good enough. More than good enough. But you never said that. You never said anything. You just weren't there. Monica closed her eyes. I know. I'm trying to let it go. Trying to believe you're really changing. But it's hard, Mom. Really, Amala, hard. I know it is. All I can do is keep showing up. Keep trying. Keep proving that I'm different now. Are you different? Really? Monica thought about the church basement. About David Chen's anger and Carlos Rivera's handshake. About the way she'd sat there and taken every accusation because they were true. Yes, she said, I'm different. I'm terrified and uncertain, and I have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm trying. Really trying. Okay. Zoe sounded like she was crying. Okay, I'm trying too. We're both trying. We are, and that's something. They talked until 3 a.m. about Zoe's work, her boyfriend, her life in Seattle. Monica asked questions and really listened to the answers. Didn't interrupt. Didn't offer unsolicited advice. Just let Zoe talk. When they finally said goodbye, Monica felt exhausted and hopeful in equal measure. Change was possible. Maybe not easy, maybe not quick, but possible. The next morning, Monica walked into her chambers to find Jennifer waiting with a stack of messages. Judge Hayes, Chief Judge Ashford called 3 times. He wants to see you immediately. I'm sure he does. Monica set down her briefcase. What else? A woman named Angela Martinez called. She said she met you at a reentry program. She wants to know if you'd write a letter for her custody hearing. Monica looked up sharply. Angela from last night? I think so. She left a number. Call her back. Tell her yes. I'll write the letter. Jennifer stared. Judge, is that appropriate? I don't know anymore, Jennifer. I used to think I knew what appropriate meant. Turns out I was wrong about a lot of things. Monica pulled up her calendar. Clear my afternoon. I need to visit Rikers. Visit Rikers, the prison. Yes, I need to see where I've been sending people. But Judge, Jennifer, I've been sentencing people to prison for 23 years. Don't you think I should actually see what that looks like? Jennifer opened her mouth, closed it. I'll make the arrangements. Monica spent the morning reviewing cases with new eyes. Every file became a person, not a problem. Every sentence became a life interrupted. She started asking questions she'd never asked before. What support system does this person have? What trauma led them here? What do they need to heal, not just be punished? Her colleagues noticed. Judge Peterson stopped her in the hallway. Monica, I heard about your dinner on New Year's. In this re-entry program thing? His voice was careful. Are you okay? I'm better than I've been in years. People are concerned. This behavior is unusual for you. Good. My usual behavior was causing harm. Monica looked at him directly. When's the last time you visited a prison, Harold? I what? When's the last time you saw what happens after you sign a sentencing order? That's not really our concern. Our job is to apply the law. Our job is justice, and justice requires understanding consequences. Monica started walking again. I'm visiting Rikers this afternoon. You're welcome to join me. She didn't wait for his answer. Rikers was worse than Monica imagined. The smell hit her first sweat and disinfectant and despair. Then the sounds, metal clanging, men shouting, guards yelling. It was chaos barely contained. Her escort, a corrections officer named Davis, walked her through with practiced efficiency. This is where we house pretrial detainees, Davis explained. Most haven't been convicted yet, just waiting. How long do they wait? Monica asked. Months, sometimes years. Systems backed up. Monica thought of all the times she'd denied bail. Too risky, flight risk, danger to community. All those men waiting in cages for trials that might not come for years. They passed cell after cell, men staring out at her. Some called out, some turned away. Monica forced herself to look at each face to really see them. This is our medical wing, Davis said, for inmates with health issues. Monica saw men lying on cots. Some looked sick. Others looked broken. What kind of medical care do they receive? Basic, we do our best with limited resources. Your best, Monica repeated. She thought of Stephen denied the chance to attend his wife's funeral. Of Jake, whose mother died while he was inside. Is your best good enough? Davis looked uncomfortable. I don't make policy, Judge. I just enforce it. I know. I'm the same. Or I was. Monica stopped in front of a cell. Inside, a young man sat on his bunkhead in his hands. He couldn't have been more than 20. How long has he been here? That's Rodriguez, 8 months. Waiting on trial. 8 months without conviction. He couldn't make bail. $10,000. Monica felt sick. She'd set bail amounts like that hundreds of times. Never thought about what it meant for someone who couldn't afford it. 8 months of this kid's life gone, and he hadn't even been convicted yet. I need to leave, Monica said abruptly. We're not done with the tour. I've seen enough. She made it outside before breaking down, stood in the cold January air and cried for every person she'd sent to that place, every life she'd disrupted with her gavel and her righteousness. Davis stood nearby, uncomfortable. Judge Hayes, you okay? No, Monica said. No, I'm not okay. None of this is okay. Back in her chambers, Monica couldn't focus. Kept seeing those cells, those faces, that young man waiting 8 months for a trial that would determine his fate. She pulled up her pending cases, found 6 where she'd denied bail, 6 people sitting in Rikers right now because Monica Hayes had deemed them flight risks. She called each case back for reconsideration. Jennifer appeared in her doorway. Judge, what are you doing? Fixing mistakes. Schedule bail hearings for all 6 cases. This week. Chief Judge Ashford is not going to like this. Chief Judge Ashford can schedule a meeting if he wants to discuss it. Monica kept typing. But I'm done sending people to cages without really thinking about what that means. Her phone rang. Gerald Ashford himself. Monica, we need to talk. Now. I'm busy, Gerald. You're revisiting bail decisions. You're writing letters for inmates. You're visiting prisons and disrupting your entire docket. This stops now. No, Monica said calmly. It doesn't. Excuse me. You heard me. I'm not stopping. I'm doing my job the way it should have been done all along. Your job is to apply the law consistently. My job is justice, and I've been failing at it for 23 years. I'm done failing. If you continue this behavior, I'll have no choice but to recommend against your reconfirmation. Monica felt something shift inside her. The old Monica would have backed down, would have protected her seat at all costs. The new Monica, the one who'd cried with men she'd sentenced, who'd listened to David Chen's rage, who'd held Carlos Rivera's letter like a lifeline, didn't care about the seat anymore. Then recommend against it, Monica said. but I'm not changing course. She hung up before Gerald could respond, sat there shaking, not sure if she just made the bravest decision of her life or the stupidest. Jennifer knocked softly. Judge, are you sure about this? No, Monica admitted, but I'm doing it anyway. You could lose everything. I already lost everything. I'm just starting to realize it. Monica looked at her clerk. You know what I learned this week? Jennifer power doesn't mean anything if you're using it to harm people. And I've been using mine to harm people for decades. You were following the law. The law isn't always right, and I had discretion. I just chose not to use it. Monica stood up. I'm done choosing safety over justice. Done choosing my career over my humanity. Jennifer left looking troubled. Monica pulled out the photo of Zoe's graduation again, stared at her daughter's forced smile, her sad eyes. Then she pulled out the letter from Carlos Rivera. Read it again, his careful handwriting, his vulnerability. Two faces, two consequences of her choices. One she could still save. One she could still help save himself. Monica picked up her phone and called Zoe. Mom, is everything okay? I visited Rikers today, the prison. You did what? I needed to see it. See where I've been sending people. Monica's voice broke. It was horrible, Zoe, worse than I imagined. And I've been sending people there for years without really thinking about it. Why are you telling me this? Because you asked me if I was really different. And I am. I'm seeing things I've been blind to. I'm feeling things I've been avoiding. And it's painful and terrible and necessary. Zoe was quiet. Then, good. That's good, Mom. Is it? Yeah, it means you're human again. You've been a robot in robes for so long, I forgot you could feel things. Monica laughed through her tears. I'm definitely feeling things now. Are you going to be okay? I don't know. I might lose my seat, might lose my career, but I'm gaining something more important. What's that? Myself, my humanity, you. You haven't gained me back yet, Zoe said carefully, but you are working on it. I am. I promise I am. They talked for an hour. Monica told her about the re-entry program, about Carlos and David and all the stories she'd heard. Zoe listened, really listened, and for the first time in years, Monica felt like they were actually connecting. I'm proud of you, Mom, Zoe said before hanging up. I'm still hurt, still angry, but I'm proud you're trying. Monica sat in her chambers after the call feeling wrung out and raw, but also more alive than she'd felt in decades. Saturday couldn't come fast enough. She needed to see Lily, needed to draw dragons and eat mediocre pizza, and remember why any of this mattered. Because it did matter. Every person mattered. Every defendant, every victim, every family torn apart by the criminal justice system. Monica Hayes had spent 23 years forgetting that. She'd spend the rest of her life trying to remember. Chuck E. Cheese on a Saturday afternoon was louder than any courtroom Monica had ever presided over. Kids screamed, games beeped, that animatronic rat sang off-key on a tiny stage. Monica stood in the entrance, clutching a wrapped present, wondering what the hell she'd gotten herself into. Judge Hayes. Lily came running, purple dress flying behind her. You came? You really came? Monica crouched down, balancing awkwardly in heels she now realized were completely wrong for this place. Of course I came. I promised, didn't I? Grown-ups break promises all the time, Lily said matter-of-factly. But you didn't. That means you're a good one. Marcus appeared looking exhausted already, and the party had just started. You actually showed up. In pearls. Monica looked down at herself. I overdressed, didn't I? Just a little. Come on, the chaos awaits. She followed them to a section of tables where 15 8-year-olds were already running wild. Parents hovered nearby, some she recognized from New Year's Eve. Jake waved. Pete nodded. Tommy was helping set up pizza boxes, and when he saw Monica, he actually smiled. Didn't think you'd come, Tommy said. Neither did I, honestly. Monica set down the present. But here I am. Here you are. Tommy studied her. You look terrified. I am terrified. I've never been to one of these. Never. Tommy's eyebrows shot up. What about for your daughter? Monica's throat tightened. I missed most of those. Work always came first. Tommy was quiet for a moment. Well, you're here now. That counts for something. Lily grabbed Monica's hand. Come meet my friends. They're all going to think it's so cool that a real judge came to my party. Monica let herself be dragged to a group of little girls arguing about something involving unicorns and dragons. Lily announced proudly that Monica was a judge who sent bad guys to jail. Like a superhero, one girl asked. Monica thought of David Chen missing his daughter's wedding, of Carlos Rivera separated from Isabella for 20 years, of all the lives she'd disrupted in the name of justice. No, Monica said quietly, not like a superhero at all. But you catch criminals, another girl insisted. I sentence them after they're caught. And sometimes, Monica stopped herself. These were 8-year-olds. They didn't need to hear about her crisis of conscience. Sometimes it's complicated. What Miss Monica means, Marcus said, swooping in, is that being a judge is hard. You have to make tough choices. Do you ever make wrong choices? Lily asked, looking up at Monica with those two wise eyes. Yes, Monica admitted. I've made a lot of wrong choices. But you can say sorry and fix them right. That's what my daddy says. Monica felt Marcus stiffen beside him. The other parents had stopped talking, were listening now. Sometimes sorry isn't enough to fix things, Monica said carefully. Sometimes the hurt is too big, but you still have to try. My daddy says trying is brave, Lily announced, then ran off to chase her friends toward the ball pit. Marcus let out a breath. That was diplomatic. That was honest. There's a difference. Monica watched Lily disappear into a sea of plastic balls. She's remarkable, Marcus. You're raising a remarkable kid. I'm trying. Some days are harder than others. Marcus ran a hand through his hair. She asked about prison sometimes, about why I was gone when she was little. I never know what to say. Tell her the truth. Age-appropriate truth, but truth. Monica turned to face him. She can handle more than you think. Kids usually can. Is that what you told yourself about your daughter, that she could handle you being gone? The words hit like a slap. Monica felt her face go hot. No, I told myself she was better off without me hovering, that I was teaching her independence. She met Marcus's eyes. I was wrong, and she paid for it. Marcus looked away. Sorry, that was out of line. It wasn't. You're right to push back. I deserve it. Nobody deserves to be gutted at a kid's birthday party. Maybe I do. Monica's voice was steady. Maybe that's exactly what I deserve. Before Marcus could respond, a crash came from the game area. One of the kids had climbed too high on the ticket redemption machine and pulled it forward. Pete and Jake rushed over, catching it before it fell. The kid scrambled down, crying, and his mother swept him up. Crisis averted, Tommy called out. But maybe we should supervise the game area before someone actually gets hurt. The adults split up, each taking a section. Monica found herself stationed near the air hockey tables with Angela, the woman from the re-entry program. She looked different in daylight, younger, somehow less worn down. Judge Hayes, Angela said, didn't expect to see you here. Call me Monica, please, and I promised Lily I'd come. That's sweet. Angela watched the kids playing. My daughter would be about Lily's age now. Haven't seen her in 4 years. Monica's chest constricted. I'm sorry. You wrote that letter for my custody hearing. My lawyer called yesterday, said it might actually help. Angela's voice cracked. Why would you do that after everything? Because you deserve to be with your daughter. Because the system that separated you is broken. Because Monica stopped, emotion overwhelming her. Because I'm trying to fix some of the damage I've caused. You can't fix it all. You know that, right? I know, but I can try. That's all I can do. They stood in silence, watching kids pump tokens into machines, shrieking when tickets spat out. Such simple joy, such easy happiness. My daughter's name is Maya, Angela said suddenly. She likes to draw, or she did 4 years ago. I don't know what she likes now. You'll find out, Monica said. When you get her back, you'll learn everything. If I get her back, the system doesn't like giving kids back to ex-cons, even clean ones. Then we change the system. Monica pulled out her phone. Give me your lawyer's number. I want to know when the hearing is. I'll testify if they'll let me. Angela stared at her. You do that, testify for me? Yes. Why for? Because you're a mother fighting for your child, and I'm a mother who failed hers. Maybe I can help you succeed where I didn't. Angela's eyes filled with tears. She looked away quickly, wiping them. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Wait until we win. The party moved to cake time. Lily insisted Monica sit next to her, so Monica found herself squished between the birthday girl and a little boy who talked nonstop about Minecraft. They sang off key. Lily blew out her candles and made a wish she wouldn't tell anyone. If you tell, it won't come true, Lily explained seriously. What if it's a really big wish? Monica asked. Especially then, big wishes need magic and magic needs secrets. Monica thought of her own wishes. For Zoe to forgive her, for the people she'd hurt to heal, for herself to become someone worthy of redemption. Big wishes, indeed. After cake presents, Lily opened Monica's gift, a large art set with every color imaginable, plus a sketchbook with thick quality paper. The kind of gift Monica wished she'd given Zoe 30 years ago. This is so cool. Lila hugged the box. And now I can draw even better dragons. I expect to see them all, Monica said. I'll draw you one special just for you. Lily was already tearing open the next present, that short attention span of childhood moving on. But she'd hugged the art set. That mattered. Marcus appeared at Monica's elbow. That was thoughtful. Thank you. I wanted to get it right. You did. Marcus paused. Listen, we're all going to grab dinner after this. Nothing fancy, just a diner. You want to come? You sure I don't want to intrude on Monica? Marcus looked at her directly. You're not intruding. You're part of this now, whether you meant to be or not. Part of this? Part of something. Monica hadn't been part of anything in so long. I'd like that, she said. Thank you. The party wound down. Parents collected their sugar-high children. Lily ran herself ragged in the ball pit one more time. Monica helped clean up, stuffing paper plates into trash bags, wiping down tables. Domestic tasks she rarely did in her own spotless apartment. You're pretty good at this, Jake commented, tying off a trash bag. Don't sound so surprised. It's just you're a federal judge. Didn't expect you to be comfortable with cleanup duty. I'm a person, first judge second. Or I'm trying to be. Monica grabbed another bag. I think I had those backwards for a long time. Yeah, you did, Jake agreed bluntly. But you're fixing it. That's what matters. They piled into cars, Marcus and Lily in his truck, others on motorcycles. Monica rode with Pete, who drove a beat-up Honda with a cracked windshield. Sorry about the car, Pete said. Can't afford anything better on construction wages. It's fine. Better than my driver service. You have a driver. Had. I fired him last week, decided I should drive myself, reconnect with reality. Pete laughed. How's that going? I got lost twice trying to find the courthouse. But I'm learning. The diner was exactly what Monica expected: vinyl booths, fluorescent lights, coffee that could strip paint. Perfect. They crowded into two large booths, Lily immediately demanding pancakes, even though it was 5 p.m. She can have whatever she wants on her birthday, Marcus said, flagging down the waitress. They ordered too much food. The conversation flowed around Monica's stories of work, of struggles, of small victories. Pete talked about finally getting health insurance. Jake mentioned his company landing a big contract. Tommy shared that he'd been accepted into a social work program starting in fall. Social work? Monica asked. That's wonderful, Tommy. Figure I can help kids like I was. Kids who are one bad choice from prison. Tommy's voice was steady. Maybe if someone had reached out to me before I made that choice, things would have been different. You're reaching out now. That's what matters. Is it, or is it too late for all the kids who went the same way I did? It's never too late to start helping people, Monica said firmly. I'm proof of that. If I can change at 62 after decades of doing it wrong, anyone can change. You really believe that? Angela asked from the next booth. I have to believe it. Otherwise, what's the point? The food came. Lily got her pancakes and insisted on feeding Monica a bite. It was too sweet, drowned in syrup, perfect in its simplicity. Good, Lily asked. Delicious, Monica said honestly. My daddy makes better ones. You should come and have breakfast sometime. Marcus nearly choked on his coffee. Lily, you can't just invite people. Why not? You said Miss Monica is our friend now. Friends have breakfast. Monica felt something warm spreading in her chest. Friends. When was the last time someone had called her that? I'd love to have breakfast sometime, Monica said. If your daddy says it's okay. Marcus looked cornered. Sure, yeah, breakfast. Why not? Lily beamed. Monica caught Tommy's eye across the table. He was smiling, really smiling, like he was watching something impossible happen. The conversation shifted to the Super Bowl. Monica knew nothing about football, but listened anyway, absorbing the passion in their voices. These men who'd lost years of their lives still found joy in small things, still cared about touchdowns and point spreads, still lived. Judge Hayes doesn't know football, Jake teased. I can tell by her face. I know lawyers, Monica said. One of them is quite enough to follow. Everyone laughed. The sound washed over Monica like warm water. She belonged here in this sticky booth with these people who had every reason to hate her. They'd invited her in anyway. Her phone buzzed. Zoe calling. Monica's heart jumped. Excuse me, I need to take this. She stepped outside into the cold January evening. Zoe. Hey, Mom, bad time. Never a bad time for you? What's up? I was thinking about your visit. January 15th, right? Right. I have my flight booked. 10 a.m. arrival SeaTac Airport. Okay, good. Zoe paused. Would you want to stay with me? I have a spare room. It's tiny, but it's there if you want it. Monica's breath caught. You want me to stay with you? If you'd rather get a hotel, that's fine too. I just thought, I want to stay with you very much. Okay then. Zoe's voice softened. Okay, I'll make up the guest room. Zoe. Yeah. Thank you for giving me another chance. Don't thank me yet. I'm still scared you'll disappoint me. I won't. I promise I won't. We'll see. But Zoe's voice held something that might have been hope. Where are you right now? Sounds noisy. I'm at a diner after a birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese. Silence. Then you went to Chuck E. Cheese. Marcus's daughter turned 8. She invited me. Marcus, the guy you sent to prison. Yes, his daughter is remarkable. She makes me believe people can be good despite everything. Mom, Zoe said slowly, what's happening to you? I'm becoming another person I should have been all along. Better late than never, right? Way better than never, Zoe's voice cracked. I have to go, but Mom, I'm glad you're trying, really glad. They hung up. Monica stood in the cold, feeling tears freeze on her cheeks. Zoe wanted her to stay. Her daughter, who she'd failed for decades, was giving her another chance. Monica wiped her face and went back inside. The group had ordered dessert pie and ice cream, passing plates around, stealing bites from each other. Family. They'd become a family. Everything okay? Marcus asked. Better than okay. My daughter wants me to stay with her when I visit. That's great, Lily said. See, wishes do come true. Yes, they do, sweetheart. Monica ate pie that was too sweet and drank coffee that was too strong and listened to stories about motorcycle trips and construction mishaps and recovery struggles. She was there, present, fully engaged in the moment instead of thinking 3 steps ahead to the next case, the next verdict, the next way to prove herself. Around 8 parents started collecting their tired kids. Lily had fallen asleep against Marcus's shoulder, face peaceful. Time to get this one home, Marcus said softly. You need a ride. Pete's giving me one, but thank you. Monica stood gathering her coat. Marcus, thank you for inviting me today. It meant more than you know. You're welcome. And I meant what I said, you're part of this now. Marcus shifted Lily gently. Come to the next ride. Second Saturday of every month. We do a charity run, collect toys for kids in hospitals. I don't have a motorcycle. You can ride with someone. Jake's got room. I'm a 62-year-old federal judge. I can't ride a motorcycle. Why not? Marcus grinned. Scared. Terrified, but I'll do it anyway. Everyone who overheard laughed. Apparently, Judge Hayes on a motorcycle was the funniest thing they'd heard all week. Pete drove Monica home talking about his kids, 2 boys he barely got to see because his ex-wife moved to Pennsylvania after the divorce. The drug charge didn't just cost me 2 years, Pete said. Cost me my marriage, my kids, everything. I see them maybe twice a year now. I'm sorry, Monica said. That sentence was wrong. I knew it then. I know it now. Can't undo it. No, but I can advocate for better laws, for judges to have discretion on mandatory minimums, for treatment instead of incarceration. Monica looked at him. I can use my voice now, the voice I should have been using all along. You really gonna fight the system from inside it? I'm going to try to. Pete pulled up to her building. You know what, I believe you. A week ago I wouldn't have, but now I think you might actually do it. Hold me to it, all of you. If I slip back into old patterns, call me out. Oh, we will, Pete said. Trust me, we will. Monica rode the elevator up, feeling exhausted but full. Her apartment was still empty, still cold, but it felt different somehow. Less like a prison, more like a starting point. She changed into comfortable clothes and made tea, sat at her window watching the city. This time last week, she'd been standing here alone, having been rejected at a restaurant, drowning in loneliness. Now she had breakfast plans with Marcus and Lily, a motorcycle ride to consider, a daughter expecting her visit, people who called her friend. Her laptop was open on the dining table, case files still spread out. Monica pulled them toward her and started working with fresh eyes. Every defendant became a person. Every circumstance got consideration. She drafted questions to ask during sentencing hearings about family, about trauma, about what led them to this moment, about what they needed to heal. The phone rang at midnight, unknown number. Monica almost didn't answer. Hello, Judge Hayes, it's David Chen from the re-entry program. Monica's pulse quickened. David, is everything all right? Yeah, he paused. I wanted to apologize for being so harsh the other night. You were trying and I attacked you. You had every right to be angry. Maybe, but you came to listen. Took guts. And I heard you're actually changing things. Pete mentioned you're reconsidering bail cases. That's big. It's overdue. Still big. David cleared his throat. Look, I run an auto shop. Hire guys coming out of prison, teach them the trade. I could always use volunteers. People to help with paperwork, talk to the guys, show them there's another side to things. Are you asking me to volunteer at your shop? I'm asking if you'd consider it. Once a week, maybe. Nothing fancy, just showing up. Monica thought about her schedule. Her docket was packed. Gerald would have a stroke. Her colleagues would think she'd lost her mind. Yes, she said. When do I start? David laughed, surprised. Seriously? Seriously, send me the address. I'll be there. All right then. Thursdays work 4 to 6. Thursdays work. They hung up. Monica sat there smiling. A week ago, she would have said no, would have cited ethics concerns and time constraints. Now she was volunteering at an auto shop, helping ex-cons learn a trade. The old Monica would be horrified. The new Monica couldn't wait to start. Over the next few days, Monica's transformation became impossible to hide. She held the bail reconsideration hearings, listening to defendants explain their circumstances. A single father with 3 kids who couldn't afford the $10,000. A woman whose mother would die without her care. A young man whose only crime was being in the wrong place when a friend made a terrible choice. Monica released 4 of them on their own recognizance, lowered bail to affordable amounts for the other 2. Gerald called her into his office. What are you doing? My job. Better. You're undermining the entire bail system. The bail system is punishment for being poor. I'm fixing that. You can't just, I can. It's my courtroom, my discretion, and I'm using it. Monica stood her ground. If you want to remove me, start the process. But I'm not backing down. Gerald stared at her. I don't recognize you anymore. Good, Monica said. I don't recognize myself either. That's the point. She walked out before he could respond. Jennifer was waiting with more messages. Judge Peterson wants to speak with you. Judge Martinez called. The prosecutor on the Williams case wants a meeting. Oh, and a reporter from the Times is asking about your changed approach to bail. Monica's stomach dropped. A reporter. She says you've released more defendants in the last 3 days than you did in the previous 3 years. Wants to know why. Tell her, Monica stopped. The old instinct was to say no comment, hide, protect herself. Tell her yes, I'll talk to her. Jennifer's eyes went wide. You will, schedule it for tomorrow. And Jennifer, get me every stat you can on recidivism rates for defendants released on bail versus those held pretrial. I want numbers. Judge talking to the press is risky. So is continuing to do the wrong thing because it's safe. Monica looked at her clerk. I'm done playing it safe. The interview happened in Monica's chambers. The reporter Sarah Chen, no relation to David Monica checked, was young and sharp-eyed. Judge Hayes, your colleagues say you've changed dramatically in the past week. What prompted this shift? Monica thought about lying, about giving some sanitized version that would play well. Then she thought about Lily asking if she'd ever made wrong choices. I had dinner with men I'd sentenced to prison, Monica said, and they showed me what my verdicts actually meant, the human cost I'd been ignoring. Sarah's pen moved across her notepad. That's unusual. Some might say inappropriate. Some would be right. It violated every rule I'd lived by for 23 years. It was also the most important thing I've ever done. So you're saying your approach was wrong before? I'm saying I prioritized consistency over compassion. I followed guidelines instead of considering individuals. I chose to protect my reputation as a tough judge instead of showing mercy when I could. Monica met Sarah's eyes. Yes, my approach was wrong, and I'm spending the rest of my career trying to fix it. Sarah stopped writing. You're admitting fault, on the record. Do you know what this could do to your confirmation? Yes, and I'm doing it anyway. Why? Monica thought of Zoe's voice, small and hurt, of Carlos Rivera's letter, of Lily's wisdom about trying being brave, because it's the right thing to do, and I've spent too many years doing the wrong thing safely. The article ran 3 days later. Front page of the Metro section, federal judge admits decades of wrong sentencing. It quoted Monica extensively, included reactions from legal scholars and former defendants. Some praised her courage, others questioned her competence. Gerald called, "You've made yourself a target." I made myself honest. The Senate committee is going to read this. Your confirmation is less important than doing the right thing going forward. Monica, I mean it, Gerald. I don't care about the seat anymore. I care about being someone my daughter can be proud of, someone those men don't hate, someone I can look at in the mirror. She hung up and saw she had texts from the group. Marcus saw the article, proud of you. Tommy, you're either brave or crazy, maybe both. Angela, my lawyer says this helps my case, thank you. And from Zoe, Mom, I just read the Times article. Holy shit, you really are changing. Monica smiled through tears and typed back, trying to, for you, for me, for everyone I hurt. Keep trying, I'll be watching. And no, that's what keeps me going. Thursday came. Monica drove herself to David's auto shop in Queens, getting lost only once. The shop was small but clean, 3 bays with cars in various states of repair. David was under a Honda, only his legs visible. You actually came, he called out, sliding out on a creeper. Thought you might back out. I said I'd be here. Yeah, well, people say a lot of things. David stood wiping grease on his coveralls. Come on, I'll introduce you to the guys. There were 5 men working. 2 Monica recognized from sentencing hearings. Not hers, but she'd seen their faces in courthouse halls. They looked wary when David introduced her. This is Judge Hayes. She's volunteering, helping with paperwork, maybe talking to you guys about your cases, whatever you need. Why would a judge help us? One man asked suspiciously. Because she's trying to be better, David said. Same as we all are. Monica spent 2 hours there. Helped sort receipts. Listened to a young man named Chris talk about his parole officer who seemed determined to violate him for breathing wrong. Answered questions about legal rights. Sat in the break room drinking terrible coffee while men who'd been through hell shared their stories. I appreciate you doing this, Chris said. Most judges, they sentence you and forget you. You're actually here. I should have been here years ago, Monica said. But you're here now. That's what matters. She left the shop feeling grimy and purposeful. This was real work. Unglamorous ground level making actual difference work. She wanted more of it. Saturday morning, Monica's phone rang at 7 a.m. Marcus. You awake? I am now. Good. Lily wants to make you breakfast. You free? Monica looked at her empty apartment, her empty Saturday stretching ahead. I'm free. Great. Come over at 9. And Judge wears something you can get messy in. Lily takes her pancake making very seriously. Monica showed up in jeans, actual jeans, not the designer kind she wore on rare casual days. A sweater, no jewelry. Marcus opened the door looking surprised. You look human. I'm trying a new thing, being a person instead of a profession. Lily appeared covered in flour. Miss Monica, you're here. We're making special pancakes with chocolate chips and everything. Monica spent the morning in Marcus's small kitchen, helping Lily measure ingredients, flipping pancakes, laughing when Lily got batter in her hair. It was chaotic and messy and perfect. You're good with her, Marcus said quietly while Lily was busy arranging chocolate chips into a smiley face on a pancake. I'm learning. I wasn't good with my own daughter. Trying to do better now. You see her soon, right? Your visit. Week from today, I'm terrified. That's how you know it matters. They ate pancakes at the small table, Lily chattering about school and friends, and the dragon she was drawing for Monica. The ordinariness of it made Monica's chest ache. This was what she'd missed with Zoe. Lazy Saturday mornings, laughter over breakfast, being present. "Thank you for this," Monica said when it was time to leave. "Thank you for showing up," Marcus countered. "Not everyone would. I'm trying to be someone who does, someone who shows up." Monday brought another crisis. The prosecutor on the Williams case, the privileged college kid who'd stolen the laptop, came to Monica's chambers furious. "You requested statistics on racial disparities in sentencing. What are you implying?" "I'm not implying anything. I'm examining patterns. The data shows that white defendants in property crimes receive probation 70% of the time. Black defendants in identical crimes receive prison time 60% of the time. Those are complicated statistics. You can't just, I can and I am. We're going to talk about bias in every case that comes before me. Starting with this one. Judge Hayes, with all due respect." No respect is due if we're systemically punishing people differently based on race. That ends in my courtroom, starting now. The prosecutor left looking shaken. Word spread fast. By afternoon, 3 other judges had called, some curious, some critical. Monica didn't care. She was done caring about colleague approval. That evening, she got an email from Carlos Rivera's lawyer. "Judge Hayes, Carlos's compassionate release hearing is scheduled for February 10th. He's requested that you testify on his behalf if you're willing. Your letter has already been submitted to the board. They're very interested in hearing from you directly." Monica replied immediately, "I'll be there. Whatever he needs, I'll be there." She called Marcus to tell him. He answered with arcade sounds in the background. "You're testifying for Carlos. If it helps him get out, yes. You know what the other judges will say, what it'll look like." "I don't care anymore, Marcus. I truly don't. Carlos deserves a chance at his life, at meeting his daughter. If my testimony helps, I'm giving it." "You're something else, Judge Hayes." "Monica, please, just Monica." "Okay then, Monica, you're something else." She worked late into the night preparing for the hearing, researching what worked in compassionate release arguments. Carlos had been model prisoner. GED college courses, no infractions. He'd counseled younger inmates, including Tommy Rodriguez. He'd changed everything about himself. He deserved freedom. Monica was going to fight like hell to help him get it. The week blurred past. Work, auto shop, volunteering, preparation for Seattle. Monica bought casual clothes for the trip, real casual, not Judge pretending to be casual. She got a haircut, let the stylist talk her into something less severe, more human. "You look younger," Jennifer commented. "I feel younger. Or maybe I just feel alive for the first time in decades." Thursday night before her Friday flight, Monica couldn't sleep. Kept imagining seeing Zoe. What she'd say, how she'd act. Whether her daughter would really forgive her or if this was just prolonged goodbye. At 2 a.m. her phone buzzed. "Zoe." "Can't sleep either," Monica answered. "How did you know?" "Because I'm your mother. And because I'm terrified too." "You're terrified?" Zoe sounded surprised. "Absolutely terrified. What if I mess this up? What if I'm not enough?" "Mom," Zoe said softly, "you just have to be here, that's all. Just be here, be present, be you." "What if that's not enough?" "Then at least we'll know we tried." They talked until 3, about everything and nothing. Monica told stories about Lily and the auto shop and Chuck E. Cheese. Zoe shared about her job, her boyfriend Marcus, a different Marcus, she clarified when Monica laughed her life in saddle. They were getting to know each other, finally really getting to know each other. When Monica hung up, the sun was starting to rise. She hadn't slept, but she felt ready. Whatever happened in Seattle, she'd face it honestly. No hiding behind her profession, no armor, just her flawed and trying. The morning brought one more surprise. A letter delivered by courier, Carlos Rivera's handwriting. "Judge Hayes, I heard you're testifying at my hearing. I don't have words for what that means. You gave me 20 years. Now you're fighting to give me back my life. That's redemption, real redemption. Thank you for seeing me as a person, not just a case number. Thank you for showing up. Your friend Carlos." Monica held the letter and cried. Friend. He'd called her friend. After everything she'd done to him, he'd forgiven her enough to call her friend. She packed the letter carefully in her suitcase, packed clothes in hope and terror. Called a car to take her to the airport. She wasn't ready to attempt airport parking yet. Gave her doorman specific instructions for package deliveries. Told Jennifer she'd be gone for 4 days and to only call for emergencies. Have a good trip, Judge, Jennifer said. I hope it goes well with your daughter. Me too. God, me too. On the plane, Monica sat by the window and watched New York disappear below. She was leaving behind her courtroom, her reputation, her carefully constructed life, flying toward uncertainty and possibly more heartbreak. But she was also flying toward Zoe, toward a chance, toward showing up when it mattered most. Monica Hayes, who'd spent 23 years hiding behind her gavel, was finally stepping out from behind the bench. And for the first time in decades, she felt like she might actually be heading in the right direction. Zoe was waiting at baggage claim, and Monica almost didn't recognize her. Her daughter had cut her hair short, dyed it darker. She wore glasses now black-framed and serious. She looked like an adult, fully formed a stranger who happened to share Monica's DNA. Mom. Zoe, Monica's voice cracked. You look so different. It's been 2 years. People change. Zoe's tone was guarded, but she stepped forward and hugged Monica briefly, stiffly, like hugging an acquaintance. Monica held on maybe a second too long. Zoe pulled back. How was your flight? Fine, good. I'm so glad to see you. Come on, my car's in short-term parking. They walked in silence. Monica wanted to fill it with words, with apologies, with everything she'd been rehearsing on the plane. But she'd promised herself she'd let Zoe lead. So she stayed quiet, following her daughter through the airport. Zoe's car was a beat-up Toyota with a cracked bumper. She saw Monica looking. I know it's not much, but it's mine. Paid for it myself. It's perfect, Monica said quickly. I wasn't judging, just seeing your life. Yeah, well, this is my life, not exactly federal judge glamorous. The drive to Zoe's apartment took 40 minutes through Seattle traffic. Zoe pointed out landmarks, the Space Needle Pike Place Market, her office building. Monica tried to imagine Zoe's daily commute, her routine, all the ordinary moments she'd missed. Here we are. Zoe pulled into a parking spot behind a 3-story building. It's small, just warning you. The apartment was tiny, a studio with a Murphy bed and a corner kitchen. But it was clean, organized, decorated with plants and art. It was Zoe's space, and Monica felt privileged just being allowed inside. The guest room is actually just the couch, Zoe gestured apologetically. I'll pull it out for you. It's pretty comfortable. I sleep on it sometimes when I work late and don't want to deal with the bed. It's perfect. Thank you for having me. Zoe nodded, already moving to the kitchen. You want coffee, tea? I have both. Tea would be great. They sat at Zoe's small table, hands wrapped around mugs, avoiding eye contact. The silence stretched painful and awkward. So, Zoe finally said, how long are you staying? 4 days, unless you want me to leave sooner. I don't want you to leave sooner. I don't know how to do this. How to be around you without being angry. Then be angry, Monica said. I can take it. Can you? Really? Zoe's voice rose. Because you couldn't take it when I was a kid. Every time I got upset, you'd leave. In another case, in another emergency. You'd rather face criminals than deal with your daughter's feelings. Monica forced herself to stay seated, to not run. You're right, I did that, and I'm sorry. Stop apologizing. Stop being so understanding. Fight back. Zoe slammed her mug down. Tell me I'm being unfair. Tell me you did your best. Something. But you're not being unfair, and I didn't do my best. I didn't even do adequate. Monica's hands shook. I was a coward, Zoe. I was terrified of failing you, so I chose not to try. That's the truth. There's nothing to fight back against. Zoe stared at her. Tears started running down her face. I needed you, Mom. When Dad left, when kids bullied me at school, when I got my heart broken the first time I needed you, and you were never there. I know. You missed my wedding, Mom. My wedding. You sent a card and a check, like I was some colleague's kid, not your daughter. Monica felt the words like knives. I missed your wedding. 2 years ago, you said you'd come. You promised. Then the week before you called and said a case went long. You couldn't make it. Zoe was openly sobbing now. I walked down the aisle alone. Dad was already gone. You didn't come, so I walked alone. Monica couldn't breathe. She'd known she'd missed important things, but a wedding. Her daughter's wedding, Zoe, I don't even remember what case. Of course you don't, because it didn't matter. None of them mattered more than your career. Zoe stood up pacing. Do you know what Marcus said, my husband? He said maybe you didn't come because you didn't approve of him, of us, of my choices. And I had to defend you. I had to explain that you just worked too much, that it wasn't personal. But it was personal, Monica whispered. It was always personal. I chose work over you every time. Why? Zoe turned to face her. That's what I don't understand. Why didn't you love me enough to show up? I loved you too much, Monica said, voice breaking. I loved you so much it terrified me. And when you're terrified, you run. I ran to the one place I felt competent, the courtroom, where I had power and control and distance from anything that could hurt me. I wouldn't have hurt you. I was your daughter. I just wanted my mom. I know. God, Zoe, I know. Monica took a step toward her daughter. And I can't fix it. I can't go back and show up to your wedding. Can't undo 37 years of choosing wrong. All I can do is be here now and hope it's not too late. Zoe collapsed onto the couch, curling into herself. I'm so angry at you. You should be. But I also, Zoe's voice got smaller. I also miss you. I miss having a mom. Is that stupid? No. Monica sat beside her, careful not to touch without permission. That's human. That's beautiful. I don't know if I can forgive you. That's okay. Forgiveness isn't required. I'll take whatever you can give me. They sat there crying, not touching, just existing in the same space, finally acknowledging the hurt between them. I think I need to lie down, Zoe said eventually. It's a lot. Of course, should I go find a hotel? No. Zoe wiped her face. No, stay. Just give me some space. Maybe go explore the city or something. Come back for dinner. I can do that. What time? 6. There's a Thai place down the street. We can walk. Monica left feeling wrung out and raw. She wandered Seattle streets not really seeing anything. Her daughter had gotten married, had a whole husband Monica had never met. 2 years of marriage Monica knew nothing about. She'd failed even worse than she thought. Monica found herself in a coffee shop staring at her phone. She should call someone, but who? She'd isolated herself so thoroughly she had no one to turn to. Except, she called Marcus Webb. Judge, everything okay? Monica, and no, nothing's okay. She told him everything. The wedding she'd missed, Zoe's pain, her own crushing guilt. Marcus was quiet for a long moment. You really didn't remember her wedding. I have no memory of it. None. That's how unimportant I made my own daughter. That's rough, but you're there now. That counts. Does it? Or is it too late? I don't know, Marcus said honestly, but I know trying is better than not trying. I know showing up late is better than never showing up at all. You're a good man, Marcus Webb. I'm a work in progress, same as you. She heard Lily chattering in the background. Listen, Lily wants to say hi. Miss Monica, Lily's voice came through bright and cheerful. Are you in Seattle? Did you see your daughter? I did, sweetheart. Is she nice? Monica almost laughed through her tears. She's wonderful and very angry at me. That's okay. My daddy says anger means you care. If you didn't care, you wouldn't be angry. Your daddy is very wise. I know. Hey, I finished your dragon. It's purple and gold, and it has your name on it. I can't wait to see it. I'll give it to you when you come back. You are coming back, right? Yes, I promise I'm coming back. Good, because you're our friend now, and friends don't disappear. Monica's throat closed. No, they don't. Tell your daddy I said thank you. For what? For showing me what family is supposed to look like. She hung up and sat in the coffee shop until 5:30, then walked back to Zoe's apartment. Her daughter answered the door, looking calmer, but her eyes were still red. Ready for dinner? Zoe asked. Ready. The Thai restaurant was crowded and loud. They ordered too much food and talked carefully around the hard topics. Zoe told Monica about her job, software engineering, working on accessibility features for people with disabilities. She was good at it, passionate about it. That's remarkable, Monica said, making technology more inclusive. Yeah, well, I know what it's like to be excluded, to feel like you don't matter. Zoe's words had an edge. So I'm trying to make things better for people who feel that way. Monica absorbed the hit. You're doing important work. I'm proud of you. Are you? You never said so before. I was proud. I just didn't know how to tell you, didn't know how to be a mother who said things like that. Did your mother tell you she was proud? Monica thought of her own mother, cold, distant, focused on appearances. No, she didn't. So you learned it from her, how to withhold affection. I suppose I did, but that's not an excuse. I should have broken the pattern. Should have been better. Zoe pushed noodles around her plate. Do you want to meet Marcus? My husband? Monica's heart jumped. Very much, if he wants to meet me. He's wary. I told him about you over the years. None of it was flattering. I imagine not. But I also told him you're trying to change, that you've been different lately. Zoe looked up. He wants to give you a chance, for my sake. That's all I can ask for. Marcus, tall and gentle with programmer hands, met them at the apartment. He shook Monica's hand formally, his grip careful. Mrs. Hayes, please, Monica. Okay, Monica. He sat beside Zoe, their hands linking automatically. A unit. Zoe's told me a lot about you. I'm sure she has. None of it good. Some of it good. She said you were brilliant, dedicated, strong, but absent, Monica finished, but cold, but more interested in your career than your family. Marcus didn't deny it. Yeah, that too. They talked for an hour. Marcus asked careful questions about Monica's work, her changes, her reasons for coming. Monica answered honestly, not trying to spin or defend, just laying out the truth. The article in the Times was intense, Marcus said. You really admitted you'd been wrong for decades. Yes. Why most people in power would never do that. Because it was true, and I'm tired of hiding behind power. Monica looked at both of them. I've spent my whole life building a career. It cost me everything that actually mattered. I'm trying to rebuild what I destroyed. You can't rebuild some things, Zoe said quietly. Some things are just gone. I know. Like your wedding, like your childhood, like 37 years of memories we should have made together. Monica's voice shook. I can't get those back. Can't give you the mother you deserved. All I can do is be the mother I should have been starting now. Zoe's eyes filled with tears. Marcus pulled her close, protective. What do you want from us? He asked Monica. From Zoe, a chance. Just a chance to be in her life. No expectations, no demands. Just let me be here. Let me show up. Let me try. Marcus looked at Zoe. She nodded slightly. Okay, he said, but you hurt her again. You disappear again. We're done. No third chances. Understood. Thank you. Marcus left around 10. Zoe pulled out the couch bed, providing sheets and blankets. They moved around each other awkwardly like roommates who didn't quite know the rules. Mom, Zoe said as Monica was getting ready for bed. I'm glad you came, even though it's hard. I'm glad. Me too, baby girl. Me too. Monica lay awake on the pull-out couch, listening to Zoe's breathing from across the room. Her daughter was right there 20 feet away, but the distance between them felt infinite. 37 years of hurt couldn't be fixed in one evening, but it was a start. The next morning, Zoe had to work. I took Monday and Tuesday off, she explained. But I couldn't get Friday. You okay exploring on your own? Absolutely. You have any recommendations? Zoe wrote down a list: museums, neighborhoods, coffee shops. Text me if you get lost. Seattle's confusing. Monica spent the day wandering Pike Place Market, watching salmon being thrown, buying small gifts. A scarf for Zoe, a toy fish for Lily, a coffee mug for Marcus with a motorcycle on it. Silly tourist things, but they made her happy. She called David Chen from the market. How's the shop? Good. Chris got a job offer. Real job with benefits. He's taking it. That's wonderful. Yeah, thanks to you, actually. You wrote him a letter of recommendation when his parole officer tried to block it. He deserves a chance. We all do. Hey, when you coming back, the guys ask about you. Monday. I'll be at the shop Thursday as usual. Good. We need you here. We need you. When was the last time anyone had needed Monica for something other than a verdict? That evening, Zoe came home exhausted. They ordered pizza and watched a movie sitting on opposite ends of the couch. But halfway through, Zoe shifted closer. Not touching, just closer. Progress, Saturday. Zoe gave Monica the full tour. Her office building, her favorite bookstore, the park where she and Marcus had their first date. Monica absorbed every detail, desperate to know this life she'd missed building. You really love it here, Monica observed. I do. It's home. Zoe paused. More home than New York ever was. Because I wasn't there to ruin it. Mom, it's okay. I'm glad you found a place that feels right. Monica meant it. You deserve that. Lunch was at a Vietnamese restaurant Zoe loved. They ordered pho and spring rolls and talked about lighter things. Zoe's friends, her hobbies, her life. Monica asked questions and listened, really listened. Can I ask you something? Zoe said over tea. This change you're going through, is it real? Or are you going to go back to New York and slip back into old patterns? I don't know, Monica admitted. I'm trying, really trying, but I've been one way for 62 years. Maybe this is all temporary. Maybe I'll fail. That's honest, at least. I'm trying to be honest about everything. I've lied to myself for too long. Zoe studied her. You look different. Not just your hair or your clothes, your face. You look softer. I feel softer, less armored. Monica smiled sadly. Turns out being human is terrifying, but also kind of wonderful. Welcome to the club. We've been waiting for you. That night, they stayed up late, talking. Really talking. Zoe shared things Monica had never known, her struggles with anxiety, her fear she wasn't good enough, her complicated feelings about her father's new family. Monica shared, too, her own anxiety, her isolation, her growing understanding that power without connection was just loneliness with better office furniture. Do you regret it? Zoe asked. The career. Everything you sacrificed for it. Monica thought carefully. I regret how I did it. I don't regret becoming a judge. I regret letting it consume me, letting it become the only thing I was. Are you still a judge, or are you Monica now? I'm trying to be both. Judge Hayes in the courtroom, Monica everywhere else. It's hard. The lines keep blurring. Maybe that's good. Maybe they should blur. Sunday morning, Zoe asked if Monica wanted to go to church with her. You go to church. Sometimes. Marcus and I found a progressive congregation. It helps. Gives me perspective. Monica hadn't been to church in 40 years, but she went sitting beside Zoe and Marcus, listening to a sermon about grace and second chances. She cried through most of it. Afterward, the pastor, a woman in her 50s, shook Monica's hand. First time here. Yes, I'm visiting my daughter. Well, you're always welcome. We believe everyone deserves a place at the table, no matter what they've done, no matter how late they arrive. Monica thought of New Year's Eve, of Marcus inviting her to sit when she had nowhere to go, of being welcome despite everything. Thank you, she whispered. I think I needed to hear that. Sunday evening was their last together. Monica's flight left early Monday. They made dinner in Zoe's tiny kitchen, spaghetti and salad, nothing fancy. Marcus joined them, and for a few hours it felt almost normal, almost like family. I don't want you to go, Zoe said suddenly. Is that weird? After everything, I don't want you to leave. It's not weird. I don't want to leave either. Will you come back? Actually come back, not just say you will. Yes, and you can come to New York. Bring Marcus. I'll show you the city. Introduce you to people. Monica paused. To friends. I have friends now. You have friends? Zoe looked stunned. I know. Shocking. But yes, a little girl named Lily who draws dragons. Her father Marcus, who's teaching me what real strength looks like. Men I hurt who are showing me grace I don't deserve. Monica smiled. It's a strange group, but they're mine. I'd like to meet them, Zoe said, especially the little girl. She'd love you. She's wise beyond her years. They said goodbye at the airport Monday morning. This time when Zoe hugged her, she held on. Really held on. I love you, Mom, Zoe whispered. I'm still angry, still hurt, but I love you. I love you too, baby girl, more than I ever knew how to say. Then say it more. Say it often. I need to hear it. I will. I promise. Monica cried on the plane home, but they were different tears than the ones she'd cried before. These were tears of hope mixed with grief, of possibility alongside regret. She'd missed so much, but maybe there was still time to build something new. Jennifer met her at Chambers Monday afternoon with a stack of urgent messages. Gerald wanted to see her immediately. 3 colleagues had called. A reporter wanted follow-up on the Times article. And Carlos Rivera's lawyer had called twice about testimony preparation for the hearing. Also, Jennifer said carefully, There's someone waiting to see you. He's been here since 9. Who? Tommy Rodriguez. Monica's heart jumped. She walked to her waiting area. Tommy stood when he saw her hands shoved in pockets. Tommy, is everything okay? Yeah, I wanted to tell you in person. I got accepted to Columbia. Full scholarship, social work program. Monica felt tears starting again. Tommy, that's incredible. I almost didn't apply. Didn't think they'd take an ex-con. But then I remembered what you said about trying mattering, so I tried. Tommy smiled, tentative but real. I start in August. I'm so proud of you. Yeah, well, you helped. That letter you wrote, the recommendation, my acceptance letter, mentioned it specifically. Tommy pulled out a folded paper. I wanted you to see it, proof that second chances work. Monica read the letter, seeing Tommy's future laid out in formal language. Education, purpose, redemption earned through effort. This is everything, she said. Everything I wish I'd believed in earlier. But you believe it now. That's what matters. After Tommy left, Monica sat at her desk, feeling the weight of possibility. If Tommy could change his whole trajectory, if Carlos could counsel other inmates toward better lives, if Angela could fight for her daughter, then maybe Monica could change too. Maybe it wasn't too late for any of them. The hearing for Carlos Rivera came faster than Monica expected. She walked into the prison boardroom in her suit, but without her robes. She wasn't Judge Hayes today. She was Monica here to tell the truth. Carlos was already there wearing prison blues, hands cuffed. He looked older than his 46 years, but also somehow lighter, like he'd put down a burden Monica was just starting to understand. Judge Hayes, he said, you came. Monica, and of course I came. The board was 3 people, 2 women, 1 man, all looking skeptical. The chairman, a woman named Dr. Roberts, started the questioning. Judge Hayes, you sentenced Mr. Rivera to 20 years. Now you're advocating for his release. Why? Monica took a breath. Because I was wrong. The room went silent. I sentenced Carlos Rivera without seeing him as a person. I saw his crimes and made him pay for them. I didn't ask about his daughter, about what led him to that moment, about what he needed to heal and change. Monica looked at Carlos. I was technically correct but morally wrong, and he spent 20 years proving it. That's quite an admission, Dr. Roberts said. You're saying your own judgment was faulty. Yes, not just in this case. In hundreds of cases over 2 decades. I prioritize punishment over rehabilitation. Consistency over compassion. And people like Carlos paid the price. Another board member leaned forward. Mr. Rivera has a daughter he hasn't seen in 20 years. How do we know he'll be a positive presence in her life? You don't, Monica said honestly. But you know what he's done in here, the GED, the college courses, the way he's counseled younger inmates, including Tommy Rodriguez, who's now starting a social work program at Columbia. Carlos has transformed himself. His daughter deserves the chance to know the man he's become, not the boy who made terrible choices. The hearing lasted 2 hours. Carlos spoke about his growth, his regrets, his desperate desire to meet Isabella, before more years slipped away. His lawyer presented evidence of his model behavior. Monica answered every question with brutal honesty about her own failures as much as Carlos's success. When it was over, Dr. Roberts said they'd deliberate and notify everyone within 2 weeks. In the hallway, Carlos pulled Monica aside. The guard gave them space. Thank you, Carlos said, for putting yourself out there like that, for admitting you were wrong. I know what that cost you. It cost nothing compared to what I took from you. We're even then. You gave me 20 years of hell, but you also gave me something to prove, something to fight toward. Carlos smiled. And now you gave me hope. That's a gift, Judge Monica. That's a real gift. I hope they grant your release. Me too. But even if they don't, I'm grateful you tried. Monica walked out of that prison feeling lighter. She'd faced one of the men she'd hurt most, and he'd thanked her. Not because she deserved thanks, but because showing up mattered. The call came 10 days later. Jennifer put it through. Judge Hayes, Dr. Roberts from the Compassionate Release Board. We've made our decision on Carlos Rivera. Monica's hand tightened on the phone. Yes, we're granting him immediate release. Your testimony was compelling. His record was exemplary. He'll be processed out within 48 hours. Monica couldn't speak, just sat there, phone pressed to her ear, crying. Judge Hayes, are you there? Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. She called Marcus immediately. Carlos is getting out. Marcus whooped so loud Lily came running asking what happened. Monica heard him explaining to his daughter that Carlos was coming home, that families were being reunited, that good things happened to people who tried. That evening, Monica got a text from Carlos's lawyer with a photo. Carlos walking out of prison wearing civilian clothes, looking up at the sky like he'd never seen it before. The caption read, "He wanted you to have this, said you gave him back his life." Monica set the photo as her phone background, a reminder that change was possible, that showing up mattered, that it was never too late to try. Gerald called her in one more time. "Monica, the Senate committee wants to meet with you. Your confirmation hearing is in 6 weeks." "I know, though. They're going to ask about everything. The bail releases, the Times article, your testimony for Rivera. You're making yourself a target." "I'm making myself human. If the Senate doesn't want a human judge, then maybe I'm not right for this seat anyway." "You're willing to lose it." Monica thought of Zoe promising to visit again in April, of Lily's dragon drawing on her office wall, of Thursday afternoons at David's auto shop, of Tommy starting Columbia, of Carlos walking free. "Yes," she said, "I'm willing to lose it for the chance to actually make a difference instead of just wielding power." Gerald stared at her. "You've changed." "I'm changing, present tense, still a work in progress." "Well," Gerald stood, "for what it's worth, I think you're making a mistake, but I also think you're the bravest person I know right now." "I'm not brave, I'm terrified, but I am doing it anyway." The confirmation hearing was brutal. Senators questioned her judgment, her consistency, her admission of wrongdoing. Monica answered every question honestly. Yes, she'd been wrong. Yes, she was changing her approach. Yes, that might look like weakness, but it was actually strength, the strength to admit fault and grow. The vote was close. Monica waited in her chambers while the Senate decided her fate. Jennifer brought her tea. Marcus texted encouragement. Zoe called. "Mom, whatever happens, I'm proud of you. Even if I lose my seat, especially if you lose it, because it means you chose what's right over what's safe." The vote came through, confirmed, barely, by 2 votes. Monica sat at her desk staring at the confirmation notice. She'd kept her seat, but it felt different now. The power felt different. She wasn't Judge Hayes, untouchable and above it all. She was Monica Hayes, trying to use her position to heal instead of harm. That Thursday at the auto shop, the guys threw her an impromptu celebration. Pizza and soda, terrible music on the radio, David giving a mock speech about her honor the judge who actually gives a damn. "Speech," everyone chanted. Monica stood feeling ridiculous and wonderful. "I don't have a speech, I just have thank you. Thank you for showing me what I'd been missing. For teaching me that justice without humanity is just cruelty. For giving me a second chance I didn't deserve." "Nah," David said. "You earned it. By showing up, by trying. That's all any of us can do." "Then I'll keep showing up, I promise." That Saturday, Monica went to Lily's dragon drawing class. Marcus had mentioned it casually, a weekend art program at the community center. Monica showed up with coffee for Marcus and donuts for the kids. "You came." Lily rushed over, paint on her hands and face. "Look what I'm making. It's a dragon family." "See, the mom dragon was gone for a long time, but she came back, and now they're all together again." Monica looked at the painting, crude but earnest, 3 dragons of different sizes clustered together. The mom dragon was purple, Lily's favorite color. Monica's color now, too. "It's perfect," Monica whispered. "You can have it when it dries. To remember that coming back is brave." Monica hugged her, not caring about the paint. This child who'd lost 4 years with her father because of Monica's sentence was giving her art about second chances. Life was strange and beautiful and full of grace Monica didn't deserve, but was learning to accept. 6 months later, Monica stood in Zoe's living room in Seattle, a bigger apartment now, one with an actual guest room. Zoe was 7 months pregnant, glowing despite the morning sickness and swollen ankles. "You're sure you want to be here for the birth?" Zoe asked for the 10th time. "I've never been more sure of anything." "What about work?" "Work can wait. This can't." Monica put her hand on Zoe's belly, feeling her grandchild kick. "I missed everything with you. I'm not missing this." Zoe's Marcus smiled at her. "We're glad you'll be here." 2 months later, Monica held her granddaughter for the first time. Emma rose, tiny and perfect, and screaming her lungs out. Monica cried, holding her, overwhelmed by love and regret and hope, all mixed together. "Hi, Emma." she whispered. I'm your grandma, and I promise, I swear I'll show up for you every birthday, every recital, every moment that matters. I'll be there. You will, Zoe said from the hospital bed. I believe you now, Mom. You've proven it. Monica looked at her daughter, her son-in-law, her granddaughter. This family she'd almost lost. This love she'd almost destroyed through neglect. I'm so sorry I missed so much of your life, Monica said to Zoe. But I'm so grateful you let me be part of what comes next. Me too, Mom, me too. Back in New York, Monica's courtroom looked different. Not physically, same wood paneling, same bench, same seal on the wall. But her approach was transformed. Every defendant got heard. Every circumstance got considered. Monica asked questions she'd never asked before, about family, about trauma, about what healing looked like. She still sentenced people to prison. The law required it sometimes, but she did it with compassion now, with recognition of their humanity. With follow-up, she tracked outcomes, checking on defendants, post-release, writing letters of support, connecting them with programs. Her colleagues thought she'd gone soft. Her numbers showed something different. Her recidivism rates were dropping. People given second chances were taking them. On a Tuesday morning, Carlos Rivera walked into her courtroom. Free for 8 months now, working construction, seeing his daughter every weekend. He'd come to observe, sitting in the gallery, watching Monica sentence a young man for a crime similar to the one Carlos had committed 2 decades before. Monica gave him alternatives: drug treatment, community service, supervision but not incarceration. The young man cried with relief. After court, Carlos approached the bench. That's what I needed, he said quietly. 20 years ago, that's what would have saved me. I know. I'm sorry I didn't see it then. But you see it now, and that kid gets to keep his life. That's something. That's everything. They stood there, former adversaries, now something like friends. Isabella wants to meet you, Carlos said. She knows you sentenced me. She also knows you got me released. She's confused but curious. I'd be honored to meet her, if she wants. Next Sunday, family dinner. You should come. Monica thought about the ethics of dining with a former defendant. Then she thought about Lily's dragon painting, about second chances, about the fact that rules had kept her isolated for too long. I'll be there. Sunday dinner at Carlos's small apartment was crowded and loud. Isabella was there with her boyfriend. Carlos's mother, ancient and fierce. Tommy Rodriguez, still close with Carlos. And Monica sitting among them, welcomed into this family built from survival and grace. So you're the judge who sent my dad away, Isabella said. Not hostile, just stating facts. I am. And then you got him out. I testified, the board made the decision. But you helped. After you'd heard him, you helped. Isabella studied Monica. That takes guts. Admitting you were wrong. Your father has more guts. He survived and grew. I just finally saw it. Isabella smiled. I like her dad. She's real. Yeah, Carlos said. She is. The food was incredible. Puerto Rican dishes. Carlos's mother had made recipes passed down through generations. Monica ate until she was stuffed, listening to stories, laughter, life happening around her. This was justice. Not the gavel coming down, but people healing. Families reuniting. Second chances taken and treasured. Walking home that night, Monica thought about New Year's Eve. About standing outside that restaurant alone and empty. About Marcus appearing like fate disguised as leather and tattoos. About everything that had changed in 1 year. She'd lost her marriage years ago, nearly lost her daughter, almost destroyed her career. But in the rubble, she'd found something more valuable than all of it. She'd found her humanity. Monica Hayes was 63 years old, a federal judge, a mother, a grandmother, a friend, a work in progress. She'd spent 62 years building walls. Now she was tearing them down brick by painful brick. The work was hard and slow and terrifying. But on the other side of those walls was life, real life, connection, love, purpose beyond power. She'd sentenced hundreds of people to cages. Now she was freeing herself from the one she'd built around her heart. And every day she showed up to Lily's art classes, to David's shop, to Zoe's life, to her courtroom. She got a little freer. It wasn't redemption. Monica wasn't sure she'd ever be redeemed for the harm she'd caused. But it was something better than redemption. It was transformation. It was trying. It was showing up despite fear, despite failure, despite the certainty that she'd never fully make amends. Monica Hayes had learned that justice wasn't about punishment or power. It was about seeing people really seeing them and choosing compassion over convenience, mercy over mandatory minimums, humanity over harsh verdicts. She'd learned it late, but late was better than never. And every day she woke up and tried again was another day closer to becoming someone worth being, someone her granddaughter could be proud of, someone Lily would draw on her dragon families, someone Carlos could call friend without flinching. The gavel still came down in her courtroom, but now Monica Hayes wielded it with wisdom earned through pain, with humility born from failure, with the understanding that every person before her bench was someone's father, someone's daughter, someone's whole world. And that mattered more than any verdict she could deliver.